Okay, good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. The March 17, 2010 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. Before we start our formal agenda here, I would like to make an announcement. There's some very pleasant things that happen occasionally amongst the City Council and myself, and we share the pleasantness with the community. And this past week, Councilman Ross's daughter Jade gave birth to a little boy by the name of Hudson, weighing 8 pounds, 12 ounces, healthy, bouncing, and congratulations. Number five. And before we start officially, I've been instructed by the Mayor Pro Tem to wish the Running Rebels good luck, not only with Northern Iowa, but throughout the entire NC2A tournament. Okay, these proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. We make an announcement at every meeting as a matter of caution. No reason to expect it will ever take place, but this building is protected by a state-of-the-art detection and suppression sprinkler system. So if alarms should activate, please leave through the exits, and then our marshals will tell you when it's safe to re-enter. And as I say, there's no reason to expect this to happen, but we do it at each meeting. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Pastor Kaz Alici from the Persian Church of Las Vegas, and please remain standing for the pledge.
Good morning, Mayor and City Councilman members. Happy spring season. With your permission, I do the invocation first in Farsi and then in English.
Please.
کلیسای ایرانیان لاس وگاس عید نوروز را به همه عزیزان تبریک میگوید. کلام خدا در کتاب غزلهای سلیمان که نمایانگر محبت خدا به مخلوقات خدا است می‌فرماید: محبوب به من گفت ای محبوب من، ای زیبای من، برخیز و بیا. زمستان گذشته است، فصل باران تمام شده و رفته است. گلها شکفته و زمان نغمه سرایی فرا رسیده است. صدای پرندگان در ولایت ما به گوش می رسد. خداوندا زمستان رکود اقتصادی را که امروز دنیا را فرا گرفته تمام کن تا شهر ما با بهار نعمت برخیزد. پدر، امروز ما ایرانیان به مانند همه موجوداتی که آفریدی شادی می کنیم، چون بهار و امیدی جدید به ما عطا کردی. پدر ازلی، هزاران نفر که با امیدی به لاس وگاس مهاجرت می کنند از طریق شغل و موقعیتی جدید برکت ده. سپاسگزاریم از آزادی که به ما در آمریکا عطا فرمودی. این موهبت را به مردم ایران و سایر ملل عطا فرما. پدر، امروز به شهردار ما آسکر گودمن و اعضای انجمن شهر برکت ده که با حکمت و آگاهی با مسائلی که امروز در حضور آنها نهاده‌ای مواجه شوند. آمین. The word of God in the book of Songs of Solomon, which portrays the love of God towards his creation. Chapter 2, verse 10 to 12 says, My beloved spoke and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone, the flowers appear on earth, the time of singing of bird is come, and the voice of dove is heard in our land. I pray that the winter of economic challenges in Las Vegas and around the world will pass, and our city will rise up to a time of spring prosperity, as we Persians would say, to a Nowruz, or a new day, or a new hope. I pray that thousands of people who come here every month be blessed with new jobs and new opportunity. Thank you, Father, for the freedom you have given us in America. Bless people in Iran and other nations with freedom as well. Bless our mayor, Mr. Oscar Goodman, and city council members with wisdom and understanding to deal with agendas and issues that you have set before them this day. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ceremonial portion of our agenda, and for our first item, we're going to recognize our March Employee of the Month, and I'd like to ask Margot Wheeler, Director of Planning and Development, to join us up at the podium. And I'm proud to announce that the March Employee of the Month is Robert Summerfield. Robert, please join us. Robert is a planner, too, and has been with the city for almost 5 years, and he actually is ahead of the curve with his work to make the planning and development process in the city easier for our customers. He has implemented several efficiencies that improve interaction with them. For example, Robert initiated revisions to the Case Planning Division's pre-application checklist form that helps eliminate confusion for customers and improve the application submittal process. He has also created an electronic ordinance request form that allows text amendments to zoning ordinances to be quickly routed electronically to those in the city that need to sign them. This electronic form reduces paper usage and waste and significantly reduces the time needed to obtain signatures. In addition to his assigned duties, Robert serves on the Planning and Development Department's Diversity Committee and is actively involved in working with employees and this important city initiative. We'll see you tomorrow morning when we have our meeting, right? Okay, Robert is a self-starter who looks for ways to improve the experience of the city's customers, and his dedication and professionalism are exemplary. Maybe more important than all of the kudos that are bestowed upon him for his service to the city is the fact that I'd like to say hello to his nephews, Aubrey and Teddy. They're in school this morning, and Robert raises both of them. So that is a good deed. And on behalf of the entire City Council, I'd like to congratulate you on being named the March 2010 Employee of the Month. And along with this very nice plaque, you have received, I believe, a $100 Visa card. Have you spent it yet?
I tried, but couldn't find the jacket I was looking for.
The jacket? I've got the team that we could bet on tomorrow.
I tried to refrain from the betting.
Well, I thought that was the only reason we had Visa credit cards. Well, that was at the compliments of Nevada Federal Credit Union. Congratulations, my friend. Good seeing you.
Thank you to the Mayor and Council for this wonderful program that allows the various departments the opportunity to put forward one of our own whose service is the leadership that they provide to the department and to the city, working with all of the members of the department. And Robert puts his all into everything that he does at all times and really has made a positive impact to the city, and we appreciate the Council's opportunity to recognize these employees.
Thank you, Margot. Robert?
I'll be short, as the mayor prefers. I just want to thank both my director as well as my coworkers at Planning and Development. I get a lot of leeway in terms of the projects that I'm working on to see that I get them done. I would also like to thank the other departments in the city, the coworkers that I have there that often help me on the projects, help me to get the work done, and help me shine, I guess. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations again. Thank you, Martin. For our next item, Councilwoman Lois Tarkanian is going to recognize Persian Heritage Month. Councilwoman.
I'd like, please, to have Ted Akima come up along with Samira Knight. Every year, Iranian Americans and people of Persian ancestry and heritage throughout the entire world celebrate March 21st, the first day of spring, the spring equinox, as their new year. The Persian New Year is called Nowruz, which means a new day. This celebration of rejuvenation of earth and the birth of life has a long history that goes back more than 3,000 years. A major part of the New Year rituals is setting a special table with 7 specific items present. And it's called Hafsin, representing 7 crops before Islam. And if you were out there by the front door, the door outside, you would have seen the table set up with the 7 different specific items. And these ancient Iranians also grew 7 seeds as a reminder that this is the 7th feast of the creation, while they're sprouting into new growth, symbolize the festival's other aspect as a feast of resurrection and of eternal life to come. We have within Las Vegas 10,000 individuals of Persian descent, and they play a very significant role in the success of our community. They are involved in business, medicine, education, and many more respected professionals. Persian families all over the valley celebrated this year Nowruz on the first day of spring, March 2nd. They took the day off and spent it outdoors with their loved ones. The city of Las Vegas is very proud of the Persian community, and we're proud to join them in celebrating Nowruz, New Day. Our city greatly benefits from the plentiful contributions of the Persian American community, and we also commend the Las Vegas Persian Professional Society for its many contributions to our community, as well as its efforts to promote the Persian culture. So today, we, the mayor and members of the Las Vegas City Council, proudly proclaim March 2010, the entire month of March, Persian Heritage Month, and present this proclamation to Ted Akima.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor Goodman, council members, Councilwoman Tarkanian. Thank you very much. This is the 4th year we're actually receiving this proclamation. I would like to thank all of you, and specifically Mr. Ramon, that's been with us for the last 4 years and helping us go through this. We do appreciate your effort. Thank you. And since we need to pass the torch to the next generation, I would like to, this year, for Samira to take the mic and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank Mayor Oscar Goodman and Councilwoman Tarkanian, as well as distinguished council members and dear guests. My name is Samira Knight, and I was asked to speak on behalf of the Persian Culture Society, the Persian Professional Society, and the entire Las Vegas Iranian community. We would like to thank you for honoring us with this recognition of the month of March as Persian Heritage Month. This month of March creates an influential symbolism of the Persian culture that has been held throughout our culture for over 4,000 years and is deeply rooted from the traditions of the Zoroastrian belief system. A little about me: I was born and raised in Las Vegas, where both my mother and father immigrated from Iran to Las Vegas about 30 years ago, before the first revolution. My family has continuously been the center of the Las Vegas Iranian community ever since their arrival. This in turn has taught me about my culture that I descend from. My family, my community, and my studies have expanded my knowledge of my cultural roots. As a first-generation Iranian American, I am fluent in Farsi as well as can speak and read and write in the language. The Las Vegas Persian community in the last 30 years has grown tremendously, with ambitions to live the American dream. I remember being able to identify each family by their last name, and this past June, myself and other colleagues came together and created rallies in downtown and on the Las Vegas Strip for wanting the peaceful change in Iran. There are so many new faces that I felt that I've lost touch with our community. There's currently around 15,000 Iranian residing in southern Nevada. Persians immigrated from Iran for freedom, the ability to use their education, and just be able to come together as a community. The current protests in Iran are evidence of this. People in Iran want a brighter future for them. They want human rights, democracy, and simply a pursuit of happiness for themselves and their children. They are seeking the right and the opportunity that we currently enjoy ourselves and sometimes take for granted. From the contribution standpoint of society, though we are a small community, we have a large impact in the United States economy. Iranians' education on average is above that of average American, and their income is on average slightly higher than that of the average American. They are working in fields such as business, law, medicine, and science. UNLV and CSM, when I was attending school, did not have many Iranian American programs. Now they're flourishing across both campuses and coming together. At the start of spring, is March 20th, 2010, it will be 9:32 a.m. will be the Persian New Year's. This is the celebration of Nowruz, the new day. The month of March is a continuous celebration for the Persian New Year's, is starting anew. The Sofra half scene, like Ms. Tarkanian has spoke about, is laid out with green sprouts and 7 different symbolics of starting of new and regeneration and just having prosperity and happiness. The Salat Tafil, New Year's Day, is always going to fall on the spring equinox, and it will last 13 days past the New Year's. People will be having gifts, and this is the time we spend time with our family and have gift exchange, and just anything that can be able to start the new year, off. Throughout the month of March, the cultural rituals are assembled that are related to the idea throughout throwing out the bad and starting the new. These traditions date back to the original Persian Empire before the advent of Islam 1,400 years ago. No matter how often we have been conquered, our tradition has persisted, this showing the passion and commitment that the Persian community holds to their roots. The Las Vegas Persian community is continuously growing, bringing their strong motivation, commitment, and passion, which current dictatorship in Iran is taking for granted. Today we are celebrating anew and creating a strong bond between all cultures and races. Eid Shoma Mubarak, meaning Happy New Year in Farsi, and I want to thank you on behalf of the entire Iranian American community of Las Vegas for the recognition of Persian Heritage Month.
Terrific. What are you doing now?
I intern for Danny Tarkanian and I work at a golf course.
Oh.
I didn't know that until this morning. I just wanted to say before I turn the microphone over, thank you so very, very much for that beautiful innovation this morning. And I also want to point out that Ted has promised that next year we're going to have Persian dancers.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much. It's wonderful. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much. Okay, that was great. For our next item, Councilman Ross is going to recognize the accomplishments of some special young people from Centennial High School. Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. Isn't America great? Yeah. Thank you for all being here today. Mayor and Council, I'm going to submit that before City Council, every City Council meeting, we have Celtic music and dancing in the courtyard. Is that okay? I have to tell you why, because it really changed my mood today. It may put me in a great mood. Well, today I'm honored to actually recognize a couple of young ladies here in the city of Las Vegas who've done some exceptional things so far in their short careers. But before I do that, I'd like to invite Shannon Bilbray up to the podium with me, representing Congresswoman Dina Titus's office, if she would come up here. I'd also like to ask Captain Hardiman. Captain, would you come up here, please, with me before I do this with these young ladies? I'm excited to be here today to recognize two Centennial High School students who are examples for students all over Nevada. Centennial High School, under the direction of Principal Trent Day, never ceases to amaze me or our community on the quality of students graduating from Centennial High School. Today we have the opportunity to recognize two students who are participants in the Centennial High School NJROTC program under the guidance of Captain Hardiman, who always puts the priority on education for his students. I would like to ask Cadet Denai and Cadet Egan to join me. Cadets, as they walk up here, one on this side, one on that side. My goodness, look at these uniforms. Is that impressive or what? I haven't even started yet. Cadet Denai is the current cadet battalion commander for the Centennial NJROTC program. We are here to recognize her for receiving the Legion of Valor Bronze Cross for Achievement. This recognition is awarded annually to outstanding cadets who excel in the area of scholastics and leadership. Each area manager selects the most outstanding cadets in their area. In addition to having naval excellence, Cadet Denai is in the top 25% of the NJROTC class as well as her academic class, and she has demonstrated outstanding military leadership. Cadet Denai was one of 10 cadets selected out of over 65,000 cadets nationwide. Cadet Denai will be attending the Greystone Preparatory School, and we would like to recognize her today for her accomplishments. Good job. Now, Cadet Egan. Cadet Egan has excelled in leadership, academics, athletics, and air rifle. She has competed at local, regional, and national levels, including the National Junior Olympics Championships 2 years in a row. Out of all the junior ROTC programs, not just Navy, she is the 291st Junior Air Rifle Shooter to earn the Civilian Marksmanship Program's Gold Distinguished Shooter Badge. Give this girl a gun. To earn a Junior Distinguished Badge for three-position air rifle competition, she had to place among the top competitors in a series of state, regional, and national competitions where junior excellence in competition credit points are awarded. She has represented herself, her NJROTC, her school, and the state of Nevada proudly. Because of her achievements, Cadet Egan has been awarded a scholarship by the United States Naval Academy Foundation to attend the New Mexico Military Institute, and she will attend the United States Military Academy in 2011. Pretty impressive. Now, these two outstanding young ladies didn't do this by themselves. Parents, would you come up here, please? Mr. and Mrs. Denai, Mr. and Mrs. Egan. Come on up here. Where did Mr. Egan get to? He's taking pictures. Come on up here. They didn't do it by themselves. It came from great mentorship from great parents to do wonderful things for their children. These two young ladies have done an outstanding job. And with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Shannon.
Well, thank you very much, Councilman Ross. I am Shannon Bilbray, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say top of the morning to you. So thank you for having me on behalf of Congresswoman Dina Titus. This is very special for the Congresswoman because these two remarkable young women were two of the nominees that the Congresswoman nominated for the United States Naval Academy. So I had an opportunity to meet them back in November and was very impressed. I was teasing Mr. Egan because I remembered him down at the elevator pacing the floor. I think he was much more nervous for their interviews than the girls, wearing the carpet out at the Small Business Association. So I have two certificates of special congressional recognition, one to Cadet Commander Kiwi Denai, I hear she goes by, 2009-2010 Cadet Battalion Commanding Officer. Congratulations. And a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Lieutenant Commander Allison Egan, 2009-2010 Cadet Battalion Executive Officer, signed by Congresswoman Dina Titus. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Wow, that's pretty special. I don't have one of those. I can't shoot as good. I would be remiss also if I didn't recognize Vice Principal Doug Wilbur in the audience. Doug, would you stand up for us? He's here to support these students. And with that, probably your biggest cheerleaders, other than your parents, Captain Hardiman, would you say a few words about these young ladies and their accomplishments?
Absolutely, my privilege. These young ladies have led a group of folks who already contributed over 7,000 hours of community service this year. They're also were some of the main leaders in last year, Centennial being one of only 2 schools in the last 14 years to be the number 1 NJROTC in the nation by the Navy League, and also the National NJROTC Academic Drill and Field Meet Champions. They are leaders. Thank you.
Captain, thank you. Folks, as you applaud these young ladies, this is the future of America. Ladies, thank you very much for all you do for us.
Good having you.
For our next 2 items, Councilman Ricky Barlow is going to recognize the work of the United States Air Force Civil Air Patrol, as well as the winners of a local essay contest. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. We are here to recognize not only the great works of the previous awardees, but to the present, and that is the Civil Air Patrol. The Civil Air Patrol serves the community by developing youth programs such as cadets performing local, state, and national emergency missions, and informing citizens about the importance of aerospace education. Civil Air Patrol was formed in 1941, 1 week before World War II's attack on Pearl Harbor, by 150,000 citizens concerned about the safety and defense of the American coastline. In 1941, President Harry Truman established the Civil Air Patrol as a federally chartered, benevolent civilian corporation, with Congress confirming and passing Public Law 557, permanently establishing Civil Air Patrol as an auxiliary to the United States Air Force. The Civil Air Patrol saves an average of 80 lives each year, and continuously assists law enforcement agencies in the war on drugs. With passage of Public Law 106-398, Congress continues to recognize the Civil Air Patrol used by any department or agency in any branch of the federal government. Their cadet program is what caught my attention. The program includes nearly 24,000 members ages 12 to 20. Their focus is to educate youth in 4 main program areas: leadership, aerospace, fitness, and character development. The after-school cadet programs enrich schools' curricula, and such involvement offers orientation flights in powered and glider aircraft and flight training scholarships. Participation provides an international air cadet exchange program and provides college scholarships in several disciplines. And before I call them up for recognition, allow me to name a few of their community involvements and activities. They have raised funds for Wreaths Across America in this past December, and presented wreaths at the Boulder Cemetery on the graves of veterans. They offer courtesy patrol services to the Boy Scouts for the last 2 years, served as community partner with the Doolittle Community Center during their annual It Takes a Village program. They have proudly presented colors on the steps of City Hall during National Day of Prayer, also for the SOAR Awards. More recently, the cadets assisted with fundraising for Three Square Food Bank just last month, and have many more exciting events exposing them to our community. With that, I would like to bring forward and welcome Captain Henderson as well as Cadet Victoria Hune. Please come forward and let's give them a round of applause. Captain?
Thank you so much, Councilman Barlow. What he said is true, and I also want to say congratulations to the Navy cadets that are here. That is what we teach as adults who work in the cadet program. The young lady that is standing here with me is the one who is responsible for talking to Councilman Barlow at the 3 Square fundraiser and arranging all of this for us. So give her a round of applause. It's her brand new attempt at public affairs, and I think she's done a wonderful job. And Councilman, also wanted to tell you, thanks to the interest that we've gotten from being a member of one of the middle schools in the great city of Las Vegas at Jim Bridger Middle School, we have been awarded 4 national awards to the cadets in my unit. Bear with me, I don't want to say their names because I'm going to surprise them tonight at the anniversary, but the Air Force Sergeants Association has selected one of my NCOs as the top NCO for the Civil Air Patrol program in the state of Nevada. We also have the Air Force Association Airman of the Year award this year. We also have the Veterans of Foreign Wars top NCO of the state. And my unit was also very much honored by the American Legion by the Outstanding Civil Air Patrol Unit of the Year. And there are about 17 of us inside your state, inside the state here at Jim Bridger. Before I go any further, hold this. I want to say that Councilman Barlow leads the way in being part of his community, taking care of people, took his time out to come and stand around and collect food for 3 Square, has been a supporter of his community in so many ways. I just don't see any reason why he's not a member. So I have spoken with Major General Amy Corder at National Headquarters in Maxwell Air Force Base, and on behalf of my Major General, the Civil Air Patrol in the state of Nevada, I present you with this honorary membership to the Civil Air Patrol, and thank you so much for all the hard work you do, sir.
Does that mean I get to fly a plane?
We will put you in one anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to pass this over to her and let her tell you a little bit about Civil Air Patrol, what it's done for her.
Hi, I'm Cadet Senior Airman Victoria Hune, and I'm from the Jim Bridger Middle School Squadron. We are the first squadron in the state of Nevada to be a school enrichment program and or SEP. And basically, my squadron has got me to where I am today as the public affairs airman for my squadron, not only to reach out and get articles to them about what we're doing in the community, but to get out to our councilman and tell him that he's an honorary member, and also to reach the public and get more involved. And I also want to congratulate the Naval Academy on their great accomplishments. And Civil Air Patrol has changed my life. I am learning how to fly planes, how to write articles, and basically how to become a better person in my community and to be in my nation. And it's helped me out a lot.
Thank you, Officer Hune. And I would like to submit both a certificate to you and the captain for a job well done. And thank you so very much. And please keep up the great work. All right, let's give them another round of applause. Thank you.
I just have one more small announcement. I wasn't sure I was going to say anything about it, but I decided that I'm going to anyway. On the way here, we arrived a little late because there was an automobile accident just down the street where a truck and a semi kind of had an argument, and of course the semi won. But the cadets stopped, responded to the accident, rendered assistance, helped by putting out pylons to help direct things, and just in general help. So I've got several of my other cadets off to the side over here, and one somewhere, there he is with the camera. So I just want to say that the cadets and the children of the city of Las Vegas are doing what they're supposed to do and are out there. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for your community service work. The next line item of business, the Golden State Warrior C.J. Watson, the son of Legion Services employee Kathy Watson, and a product of Ward 5, West Las Vegas, along with Quiet Storm Foundation, sponsored a Black History Contest this past February. The schools that participated were Wendell P. Williams Elementary School, Kermit R. Booker Elementary School, Charles I. West Preparatory Academy, were the 3 schools that participated in the essay contest. CJ felt in history many Americans have been treated differently based on the color of their skin, where they were from, and the way they looked. Students were asked to write an essay about an event in Black history that they felt most changed and influenced America's way of life. Before I bring these students forward, I would like for you to pay attention to the monitors above.
Good morning. My name is C.J. Watson. I'm the point guard of the Golden State Warriors. I am currently in my 4th season with the National Basketball Association. I've been playing with the Golden State Warriors for 3 years. In my high school career for several years, I was named the Nevada State Gatorade Player of the Year. I take great pride in my accomplishments on the court, but I know without success in the classroom, I would not be where I am today. I would like to start off by congratulating the students at Kermit R. Booker Elementary School Wendell P. Williams Elementary School and Charles I. West Prep School, who submitted an entry into the 2010 C.J. Watson Together We Can essay contest. This contest is about much more than just winning. These essays represent something that is important not only to the individual who wrote them, but to the history of our country. They embody a positive attitude towards our future as a nation and should serve all of you as an inspiration to do great things. Each student's goals are different, and what comes easy to one may be difficult for another. We all have dreams, and as evident by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., President Barack Obama, and others, none are too big. Our country has come a long way, and now, what was once a dream has become a reality. In conclusion, I'd like to thank and congratulate all of you for your hard work and efforts. And to the winners, you are truly the best of the best. Enjoy yourself, and remember, together we can.
Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, CJ. CJ is not only a member of the Golden State Warriors, he is a member of this community and believes in giving back. And his mother and father would be here today. However, they had a death in their family, and so they are away out of town. But I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Watson for a job well done in raising not only a successful child, but a child who believes in giving back to his home community. And so, CJ, thank you once again. The Golden State Warriors welcomed the winners to Oakland, California, where they had the opportunity to not only attend a game, but have an opportunity to sit and interact with C.J. Watson as well, and the Golden State Warriors basketball players. At this time, I would like to bring forward from Kermit R. Booker Elementary School, Robert Fortson Smith. And from Wendell P. Williams Elementary School, Dejanay Childs. And I understand that the winner from Charles I. West Preparatory Academy, Jonathan Lazaro Caesar, is not here, but let's give him a round of applause as well for a job well done. And I would like to congratulate each of you. And I would just like to know what inspired you to write such an inspirational essay.
What inspired me to
write the essay?
To write the essay was to get a good education, stay in school, and just focus.
Would you like to read your essay?
Yes.
Okay. Where's your essay? Please come forward. Let's listen to your essay. Oop, and I apologize. All right. Okay.
An event in Black history that you felt most changed or influenced America's way of life. There are many events in Black history that has changed or influenced America's way of life. The one event that comes to my mind and has happened during my life is the inauguration of the 44th President Barack Obama. President Obama made history when Americans voted him in as the first African American president of the United States of America. People came from all over the world to celebrate President Obama's inauguration. The president's family in Kenya celebrated him being elected and being inaugurated. It was a time that Americans came together in peace. People of all races celebrated, laughed, and cried together. Everyone has their own story of what this event means to them. For some, it was hope for change in the economy, change in families, change in education, and change in people. People felt help for the homeless, help for people who have lost their jobs. President Obama's inauguration was symbolic of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s march on Washington, D.C., where he gave his I Have a Dream speech that touched all Americans. It was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s fight for better education, justice, equality, freedom for all people that made it possible for President Obama to become the first African American to be president. The inauguration of President Obama changed or influenced Americans because he gave Americans hope for better education for all students from kindergarten through 12th grade. He even took the time to speak to all children in America over the television to tell us all about the opportunities we will have by staying in school and getting a good education. He promised to make sure that children in America have a better education and better teachers. The inauguration of President Obama made history for all Americans. It was his famous words in his campaign were, "Yes, we can," and President Obama did it. He made history as the first African American to be inaugurated as president. The inauguration of President Barack Obama is a moment in Black history that not just African Americans will remember and cherish, but all Americans will never forget.
Mr. Robert Fortson Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Would you like to read your essay?
Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King is the top man in Black history. He had a dream that he delivered with everyone in the world. He believed that all men, no matter what race, were created equal. His dream led to the American Civil Rights Movement. He asked all Blacks to stop riding the bus, to force bus owners to let Blacks sit anywhere they wanted to. The bus boycott led to thousands of Black people marching on Washington. The march made everyone aware of the Civil Rights Movement. Dr. Martin Luther King gave his life to stop segregation and racial discrimination through nonviolent means. His dream is now coming true. People are, in a sense, equal, no longer separated by color. We can go to any school, restaurant, store, mall, church, and we can live in any neighborhood we want. The biggest evidence of seeing the King's dream come alive was the election of Barack Obama, our nation's first Black president. His inauguration into the White House, sitting in the top position, shows that Blacks can now do anything. No longer can color be an excuse. We African Americans are strong people who have come from slavery to segregation and now to freedom. So in respect to the late, great Martin Luther King, let's keep his dream alive by doing all we can do.
Congratulations, Ms. Dejanay Charles. And I would like to present both of you with certificates from the Mayor and Council for a job well done on your essay contest. And we would like to thank Mr. C.J. Watson for giving back to the community for allowing the essay contest. Congratulations to you both. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Okay. Oh, sorry, Councilman. Pardon me. For our final item, Councilman Stavros Anthony is going to recognize the Sun City Summerlin Irish Club as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. It actually says here, please hand the microphone to Councilman Anthony. I'm glad they put that on there. Thank you. It is my honor today to recognize the Irish Club of Sun City Summerlin. As many of you know, because you're wearing green, today is St. Patrick's Day, and we get to honor the, there are some people up here in green. That's good to see. Green right here. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're a good man. We get to honor the Irish heritage and culture, and with that, I wanted to honor the Irish Club of Sun City Summerlin. So, Bill and Aileen, would you mind coming up here? Now, Aileen used to be Aileen Murphy, which is obviously Irish, and she married a Hungarian, so now she's Aileen Murphy Zenuk, and her husband, Bill Zenuk, today is O Zenuk for one day. And they moved to Sun City when Sun City was first built, and they didn't have an Irish club, so Aileen decided to start an Irish club, and her husband helped her out quite a bit. They started out with about 35 members, and after a while, the Sun City community started to hear how much fun they were having. So people would call up and say, Aileen, I'm not Irish, I'm whatever, but I'd like to join your club. And she said, absolutely, as long as you're interested in Irish stuff. So they've been up to 125 members, and they have English, Italian, Jewish, Asian, Scottish, and I believe they have a couple of Greeks in there too, which is a good thing. They meet once a month. Bill is the president, Aileen is the secretary. And at the beginning of their meeting, they start out with a Pledge of Allegiance because they're proud to be Americans. And then they start out with having a club song. Irish Eyes Are Smiling is one of the songs that they sing. And so I wanted to start our meeting today, which Irish Eyes Are Smiling. So I wanted to invite two of our tenors from the club, Dennis Ortwine and Jerry Clune, to come up, and they're going to sing Irish Eyes Are Smiling to start our meeting today.
No,
You people can sing too, you know.
all of us join together in singing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure 'tis like a morning spring.
In a lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing.
When Irish hearts are happy, all the world is bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, should they steal your heart away? We have some Irish toasts here. We're not going to read the toast, but we're going to give a copy of the Irish toast to each of the council persons so that when times get tough, they'll have a way to lift their spirits.
Thank you very much. And Mayor, tonight, instead of a martini, we're having Irish whiskey, okay?
Don't worry about it. Every night my spirits are lifted. And I know that the councilman has a proclamation. I just wanted to say it's not only from him, but it's from Mayor O. Goodman.
A couple other things about the Irish Club. They have quite a few activities every year. One of them is a pub crawl. I don't know if you know what a pub crawl is, but you start at a pub and you continue on to as many pubs as you can make it until you're done. Well, their first one was supposed to be 3 pubs. And they went to the first one and the second one, and nobody made it to the third one. So they've just decided to do a pub crawl at one pub. And I went to the last one a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. We were also honored to have the Martin Percival School of Irish Dance perform for us this morning in the courtyard. And they performed for us during the break in our meeting. And they are absolutely a wonderful group of girls. And thank you very much for coming out. You all reminded me of Dennis Flatley and Riverdance, and you look that good. You're absolutely wonderful. So I'd like to invite Marie Lee, their performance director, just to come down and talk a little bit about these girls and discuss what they do. And they actually are having an event in Sun City that is every year, and it's absolutely packed. It's March 24th, 7 p.m. at Desert Vista, and everybody comes out to honor these girls and watch them entertain. So I guess Marie Lee is going to send some of her girls down here. Very good.
Thank you. We're the Martin Percival School of Irish Dance.
We range from ages 6 years old to 19 years old.
And we've been dancing, some of us have been dancing from 6 months to 14 years.
Thank you so much for letting us come out and dance for you guys. We had a wonderful time.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
And girls, I'll give you these. These are recognitions from the Las Vegas City Council and the mayor for coming out today. So hand one of those out to all the girls, all right?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. You guys are great. And with that, I wanted to issue a proclamation to the Irish Club at Sun City Summerlin. And I'll give this to Bill and Aileen. If you could just say a couple words, please.
Well, this is certainly a great way for us to start out St. Patrick's Day. We'd like to thank Mayor Goodman and all the council members, Stavros Anthony, who's been a great supporter. Really, my husband is the president, so he should be doing this talking, but he says he hasn't kissed the Blarney Stone yet, so he doesn't have that much to say. But here you go.
I'm not going to lean over a cliff to kiss a rock. Good grief. No, we really want to thank Honorable Mayor Oscar Goodman, the City Council, and a special thank you to Councilman Anthony, who's a very strong supporter of our group. And before I hand the mic off, I'd like to announce who our officers are. I'm Bill Zenek, a Hungarian who married an Irish lady, so that's why I'm president. And she's the one that put O in front of the name. It's O Zenek.
56 years ago, we were married.
And that ain't all. She had our firstborn on St. Patrick's Day. But I would like to announce that I'm Bill Zenek, the president. Aileen is the secretary and the founder of the club. Our vice president is Keith Talbot, who's sitting over there. Keith, please stand up. And our treasurer is not feeling well today, and his name is Thomas O'Callahan. And if we're on TV, Tom, we're thinking about you. And thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Great having you here. And happy St. Paddy's Day, everybody.
Those were on loan. Good job.
Okay.
This protects me all day.
You all set? Okay, we'll let it clear off a little bit. Okay. It's hard to say when we don't, let's see when we get through. It's hard to limit it if we're going to get out of here by 11:30. All right, folks. If everybody be kind enough to have a seat, we'll call the first item on the official calendar, item number 11, which is any items from the morning session that the council, staff, and or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have item number 16 is a change of business name ownership for a packaged liquor license from Lucky Stores LLC, doing business at Lucky number 6030, to Cardenas Markets, Inc., doing business at Cardenas 2400 East Bonanza Road. Staff's asked to strike. And item number 56 is transit vehicle operating procedure agreement. Staff's asked to strike that one also. Are there any other items at this time, council members, we need to bring forward?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
I would like to pull item number 31 and 32 forward.
That's on consent.
That's on consent, Rick.
Okay, then I stand corrected. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Your Honor. Hearing none, then I make a motion to bring these two items forward. Take the appropriate action, please.
All right, let's vote on those, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 12 is approval of the final minutes by reference to the City Council meeting of February 17, 2010.
Yes, Your Honor. No addition or deletion. Make a motion to approve those minutes, please.
All right, let's vote. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Items 13 through 46, with the exception of item 16, are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the departments and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any items that the council wishes to bring forward? Councilman Barlow wants item 31 brought forward?
And 32.
And 32, all right. Any others? All right, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Your Honor. I make a motion to approve items 13 through 46 with exceptions of items 16, 31, and 32 with all conditions, please.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 31, we'll call these together, I guess. Item 31 is approval of award of contract number 100103-LD F Street Public Outreach and Communications Services, Department of Public Works. Award recommended to Purdue, Marion and Associates, $150,000 Public Works Capital Projects Fund, Award 5. And 32 is approval of award of agreement number 100168-LD, Prime Design Services Agreement for F Street Reopening Design located at the intersection of F Street and I-15. Department of Public Works award recommended to PBS&J Corporation in the amount of $502,033 from the Public Works General Projects Fund. This is in Ward 5, as is item number 31. Councilor Barlow, did you wish to be heard on this?
Yes. In relation to actually item 31, if we can just get an update as far as what this item represent for the public. I received a couple calls in regards to this item, so I just wanted it to be on the record as far as what item 31 represent.
Councilman, this item is for the public outreach portion of the project. As part of the environmental clearance process, there has to be public hearings, public meetings, and this is to cover that task portion of the project to organize and to provide the material to attend the meetings, to coordinate the meetings with the community, and to provide that outreach.
Okay. And are there any concerns at this point in regards from staff or anything additional that we need to touch base on this item before we move forward?
Yes. Councilor Barlow, with your permission, I'd like to be heard on this.
Okay.
There's no question that community outreach is important, and perhaps we find ourselves in the situation where we are today as far as the F Street project because there wasn't the kind of community outreach that was appropriate for the circumstances of this matter originally. However, because of these very trying economic times, I'm going to offer a suggestion, which I discussed with Councilman Barlow, to the council as far as this item is concerned. Councilman Barlow and his staff are wonderful when it comes to community outreach and having public meetings with their constituents. And what I would propose to do is, instead of having the $150,000 go to a outside firm, and the firm is an excellent firm, but I'd like to keep the money in-house. I'd like to ask the manager to create a position that will assist Councilman Barlow and his staff to get the message out as far as F Street is concerned with those funds, so we can keep an employee instead of letting one go, and at the same time accomplish with the expertise of our communications office and Councilman Barlow's office the objective of getting the public aware of everything that's taking place as far as this project. And I discussed this with Councilman Barlow, and he knew that I was going to bring this up today.
Yes, and thank you for that, Mayor, and I can appreciate that at the same time, because I know how important this item is to the community, and community outreach is going to be very vitally important as we move forward. And so at this point, I would move to go with the Mayor's recommendation in regards to keeping it in-house. So as far as this item is concerned, I'm not sure how, in fact, to move on this item.
Ms. Farewell?
I believe you can just strike it.
All right. We would move to strike, and then you would take action based on the comments of Councilman Barlow and myself?
Yes, we'll figure out how to either charge time to the project or figure out what we need to do to ensure that there's adequate funding and positions and communications to cover this work.
Because this council is really committed to the proposition that we want to keep as much of the staff on board as is humanly possible under these circumstances. Yes,
If I could, Your Honor, just for purposes of making sure the record is clear and we're in compliance with the open meeting law, we are not agendaed today to do anything other than to take action on this particular item, which means yes or no or strike. If there is action in the future to create a new position in-house, it'll have to be brought back on a future agenda or some report will be made to you. But I want to make clear that the vote today does nothing other than strike this item from the agenda. It doesn't create a new position.
Okay, but I think it's important that the legislative history, so to speak, accompany a motion to strike, so that Councilman Barlow is not going to be accused by folks who aren't aware of what's happening today of striking the matter without a plan in place.
Right.
Mayor, it may be important to clarify that at this point, we haven't eliminated the positions.
Okay.
And so we would not need to create a new position.
Very
but
good.
I would like to spend some time with David Rugelman and Mark and Jorge to figure out how we can fund the activities that need to be done for this project, and then we can brief you all on that practice, and if we need to bring another item back, we will.
Very good. With that understanding, then, Councilman, do you wish to move to strike?
Yes, I would like to move forward to strike and look forward to sitting down with staff to reevaluate and assess how we're going to move about the process to make sure that the community outreach is done not only efficiently but effectively as relates to the reopening of the F Street Bridge.
Very good. That's the motion. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. And item 32, which is the approval of the award.
Yes, and I would like to move also to, this is in relation to 31. Is that accurate?
32.
32 is in relation to 31, correct?
It's for the engineering services for the redesign of the new bridge, yes.
Okay, then I would move to strike it as well.
All right.
Well, you're saying this is for the redesign?
Yes. Item 31 was the outreach communication piece.
Oh, okay.
For the record,
okay, I stand corrected.
And
32, I move for approval
is for the engineering.
Of the redesign, yeah.
All right, that's the motion.
That's the important piece.
Right, let's vote, please.
Right, thank you.
Post. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank
Item
you.
number 47 is discussion and possible action on the ratification of Howard Daniel Tarwater as the Director of Human Resources, effective July 3, 2010. Ms. Fretwell.
Mayor and members of the council, I stand before you today with a request for ratification of Dan Tarwater. And I'd like to give you a little bit of history about Mr. Tarwater, but also talk to you a little bit about the strategic importance of the Human Resources Department and why we decided that we needed to fill this critical executive position at this time. Dan, I don't know if you'd like to come join me up here, but you're more than welcome, since I'm going to be talking about you for a couple of minutes. Dan brings to us 30-plus years of experience as a human resource professional. He has a rich experience in both the private and public sector, including healthcare, construction, and government. He has developed in his short tenure with the City of Las Vegas an extreme level of trust and respect with his peers and in his role as labor relations manager. He has great experience in labor negotiations and in an industry experiencing shifting, restructuring, and significant reductions. And so I believe that his talents will help us in this very difficult time that we're facing during the economic downturn. He's the right person to lead this critical function, and I feel like we need to sustain this department as a department. I looked very hard, not only at the two internal candidates that were interested, and I felt immensely qualified to take this position, but we need to make sure that HR retains a position in our organization of stature and strategic importance. I don't bring an executive position to you lightly right now, but I do feel like it's critical that we move forward with this position.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes. Betsy, I certainly concur with what you're saying, but first of all, I think I owe a personal debt of gratitude to Claudette Enos as well as Kathy Tuttle. And I just want people to know that they are retiring after a few years with the City of Las Vegas, doing great jobs for us.
You stole my thunder.
Pardon?
You stole my thunder. Did you read the notes?
Oh, and anyhow, I just want to make sure before we reappoint somebody, I want to make sure that we give credit to those that have been there in the past. I think that they certainly deserve the credit that they deserve the credit that they've earned.
Absolutely, and I'm kind of joking with you, but this is a major change in this organization, in the HR department as well as the HR leadership in the city of Las Vegas. Certainly, Claudette and Judy have done a great job, and we're going to miss them tremendously. They've left a very strong foundation for our organization, and I think it's important for you to know that they've built a very strong team. They brought in Dan. They've been working with Jack Esslinger, who I think holds great promise for us and has done an outstanding job on organizational development and will be a key part of Dan's team in the Human Resources Department. In addition to that, we have the award-winning Vicki Robinson. I mean, she's been able to design unbelievable health programs that are nationally renowned. None of those things could have happened without great leadership in this organization. I know, Mayor Pro Tem, you always talk to me about make sure we're building up bench strength in our organization. I want to be able to hire from within when we can, and I think this is a great example of that. We had two very talented employees with two very different levels of experience, and I believe Dan is the right person to lead the organization with that team in place, and certainly Claudette and Judy have done a great job in getting us to this point to make this recommendation a little easier for us. With that, Mayor and Council, I'm recommending a ratification of Dan Tarwater as your new Human Resources Director, effective basically the day after Claudette leaves. It'll give us 3 or 4 months for him to transition into that role, which I think is critically important at this point in light of where we are with labor negotiations and our unique budget circumstances. And upon his ratification, welcome him to the executive team of the City of Las Vegas.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tarwater, did you wish to be heard at this time?
I just want to thank Betsy and her management team for the support. I've been doing this work at this level for many years, both the public sector and the private sector, and I can't think of any place in the country I'd rather be than this fine city.
Right,
I'd also like to thank the human resources staff that are out here supporting me, and I'd really be remiss if I didn't thank my lovely wife, Estelle, who's here supporting me today, too.
Thank you very much. Well, taking up on what the Mayor Pro Tem said and what Ms. Fretwell said, the City Council and myself really owe a debt of gratitude to the folks who are retiring at this point in time, and want to thank them for their wonderful service to the city and recognize their excellence and wish them success in whatever ventures they have in the rest of their lives after the City of Las Vegas. At this point in time, I would consider a motion, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Your Honor. With everything said, I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation to appoint Howard Daniel Tarwater as Director of Human Resources.
All right, that's the motion. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 48 is discussion and possible action regarding a change of ownership for a beer wine cooler off-sale license from Tamar Jargis to Biddy Inc., doing business as Vegas Market 3 at 6711 West Alexander Road, Suites 103 and 104 in Ward 4. Ms. Meyer, is the applicant present?
Yes, he is.
Okay, if the applicant would please come up. Okay, Ms. Meyer.
Carol Meyer, Finance and Business Services. The application that you have before you today for consideration of change of ownership for the beer wine cooler off-sale license was sent over, the background investigation was sent over to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for investigation, and his background investigation was returned with an area of interest, and you have the reports in your book. And Mr. Jargis and Mr. Beatty are here to answer any questions you may have.
All right, do you want to make a recommendation before or after?
Our recommendation would be a temporary license with a 6-month review.
All right, gentlemen, if you'd be kind enough to identify yourselves, I'd be happy to hear from you.
My name is Haytham Biddy. I'm the buyer of Vegas Market number 3, and he's
Saib Bidi, he's my brother. He's key employee of Vegas Market.
All right, very
That's
good.
number 3.
Would you like to say anything at this time?
I just Yes, I'm just wanted to get a license, but a permanent license.
Well, the recommendation is for a temporary license at this time with a 6-month review, and then you would be back in front of us for the permanent license. And that's the recommendation. If you want to press for the permanent license, you have to give us reasons why we should not follow the recommendation of Ms. Meyer.
Can I ask just the reason why she's giving me the 6-month permanent?
Well, basically because of the area of concern that she talked about. But if you want to go into any further detail, Ms. Meyer, this is the opportunity to do so.
It's basically the area of interest that we received in the Metro report. I know they've provided us a letter showing that they've sold their interest to their brother for their business in California, but it's still a concern that it wasn't disclosed in their application. So our recommendation is a 6-month license to see how they operate and then have a review.
I have the experience of operating the business over 8 years, and if she's talking about the beer and wine license, why it's under my brother, because California law, by California law, you could put the license under one partner name, and we apply, and this license was issued by ABC, and the Lotto license was issued by State of California.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Are there any questions of Ms. Meyer or the two gentlemen? All right, hearing none. This is Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you coming down. I do have concerns based on the background investigation. So if you say you run a great business, and we'll give you 6 months to do that, and if there aren't any problems, you'll get your permanent license after we review it. So my motion is to follow staff's recommendation.
All right, that's the motion. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item 49 is discussion and possible action regarding a new restricted gaming license. Biddy, Inc., doing business as Vegas Market 3 at 6711 West Alexander Road. I guess this is the same matter, is it not?
It is. This is a companion gaming item, and my recommendation would be the same, a 6-month temporary license with a review.
All right. Gentlemen, anything else?
No, we're good. Thank you very much.
All right. Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. My motion is to follow staff's recommendation.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item 50 is discussion and possible action regarding a 90-day review of a tavern license for Dominic L. Lieno at doing business as Club 2100 at 2100 Fremont Street. This is in Ward 3. Mr. DiFiore.
Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Leno is here today for his review. Just a real brief recap on where we're at with the application and the license on this. September 21st, 2009, City Council held a disciplinary meeting with Mr. Leno's license for Club 2100. At that time, they offered to approve his license with conditions, and one of the conditions was that a fine in the amount of $10,000 be assessed, which would be payable to the city prior to the next 90-day review. December 16th, 2009, that review took place. The conditions of the fine being paid were amended at that time to pay it no later than 60 days from December 16th. So the fine of $10,000 should have been paid by February 16th of 2010. Now, granted, Mr. Leno has closed his business at 2100 Fremont as of November 1st, but he is in the business now of trying to sell that license to a potential buyer that would come forward for this before the City Council. Having said this, with the fine not being paid at this point in time, today we're seeking direction from the City Council, and one of the options the City Council does have is to move forward with a disciplinary complaint to revoke the license for failure to comply with the condition of paying the fine within 90 days and if within 60 days from the December 16th meeting. So that's where we're at today.
All right, thank you. Any questions, Mr. DiFiore?
Just a comment.
Certainly.
I also feel at this time that we need to follow staff's recommendation.
All right, Mr. Lieno.
It was my understanding last time with Mr. Jervik when we had our conversation that I was not able to sell, transfer, or open a new business until this fine was paid. there was no specific time frame, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Trevor.
No, there wasn't. Absolutely, definitely.
On the first,
I was going to give you 30 days. Instead, we gave you 60 days.
Exactly.
It's still not paid.
But that changed in my meeting in December, that there was no restriction on the time frame. It was just that I could not sell, transfer, or open a new business until that was paid.
Yeah, I think what we have is apples and oranges here. During our negotiation, that's exactly what I represented to Mr. Leno. I also talked with his attorney, Dean Kajoika, and made those representations. But the final decision is made by the council at the meeting. And I think it's the record of the meeting that controls what the timeline is on paying the fine. I did not set a timeline on it when we negotiated the case, but at the time that the council actually heard the case, the record speaks for itself. And Mr. DiFiore, I think, is in possession of that record. And
I am. The record does say that the license may not be sold or transferred until the $10,000 fine has been paid. And then the following condition says this transaction must be completed within 60 days from the date of this meeting. The date of the meeting was December 16th, 2009.
so to get back to where we're at, I did not put a timeline on it when I negotiated the case with Mr. Leno and his attorney. However, the council did at the time they made the final vote.
All right, any questions of any of the gentlemen? All right, Mayor Protem.
Mr. DiFiore, would you recommend, would you state your recommendation one more time on the record, please?
The recommendation would be for the council to direct Finance and Business Services to work with the city attorney's office to proceed with a disciplinary complaint for revocation of this license.
That would be my motion, Your Honor.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Item 51 is discussion and possible action regarding an appeal of work card denial for Dustin Hill, doing business at Foothills Ranch at 3377 North Rancho Drive in Ward 6.
Mayor, members of the council, before we start the discussion on this item, I do have a supplement report provided by Sergeant Glenn Lowe regarding the convictions that you'll find in your report. The supplemental report does have the dispositions in more detail, and I'd like to be able to pass these out to the council.
All right, when you can't hand them to the clerk, we'll hand them to us, please. Well, then we'll close our eyes and read it. Well, I'm sure we can incorporate it into our confidential book. Who prepares the confidential book? Metro? Or are you, Mr.
They
DeFiore?
provide the report, and we prepare the confidential
You prepare
book.
the book. Why don't you just, at this time, move to accept the report and to place it in our confidential book, and then hand it to me, and I will grant your motion.
We're not going to hand it to the clerk.
That's right. Let's not let the law become an ass here. Can I do you through this yours?
And again, just to explain, this supplemental report is a more thorough explanation of the convictions that the applicant has today.
Okay, it's in our book.
Okay, by code, Mr. Hill is making the appeal for his work card denial that was conducted by the Metro Fingerprinting Bureau. And by code, Mr. Hill has the opportunity to present his request to the City Council to be heard and to have the Council overturn that denial made by Metro Fingerprinting. So at this time, I'd like to suggest that Mr. Hill can move forward with his explanation on that.
Okay, very good. Mr. Hill.
Yes, sir. I'd just like to say that I am a new man. I've changed my life around through counseling and AA sessions, that I do have a certificate from my individual counselor here.
Can you make that Mr. DiFiore, do you have that certificate? I know you referenced it yesterday when we were having our briefing.
Yes, we asked him to bring it to the council today.
Right. And what does it reflect?
It says, regarding Dustin Hill, Mr. Hill is currently enrolled in the Serious Offender Drug and Alcohol Treatment Program and is participating in a treatment at the Cornerstone Counseling Center. He began this in January 2009. He is attending 3 sessions per week and is current in his attendance. Mr. Hill actively participates in his individual and group therapy sessions, and this is again on the letterhead of Cornerstone Counseling Center here in Las Vegas.
All right, thank you.
I also attend AA regularly, and I've received last month my 2-year sobriety chip here, which I'm very proud of. I'm very fortunate to have Mr. Matanovich's support here as a friend and a future boss if granted my work card at his establishment. I'm also a member of Local 165 Bartenders Union, where I've completed the 6-month program of apprenticeship and have my certificate of completion here. And I would just really like to have a chance to prove myself as a positive person in the community with my work card.
Mr. DiFiore, is this the matter that you said you did not want it limited to site-specific?
Well, Mr. Matanovich has 2 bars here in the city of Las Vegas, Foothills Express Lounge and Foothills Ranch. He's ownership of both, and I believe his intent was to allow Mr. Hill, if granted a temporary work card, that he would be able to work at either one of the locations.
Does Mr. Matanovich have a copy of the most recent submittal?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Okay. And it's
Can I say something?
certainly.
My name is Ken Matanovich. I've been a resident of Las Vegas for 60 years. I've known Dustin for 10 years. He's worked for me prior in a car sales operation that his stepfather and I had. He has had a problem with alcohol, I know that. And I would be able to use him on a part-time basis because all of my bartenders have been with me for a number of years, and I don't believe in laying somebody off to hire somebody, so he would be on an on-call basis for sick performance or for vacations possibly, but it wouldn't be a permanent full-time, it wouldn't be a full-time job.
Okay, and I don't mean to be flippant here, but I'm asking the question seriously. Isn't it tantamount to putting the fox in the hen house? I mean, when...
Well, I believe that he's recovered, and I guess only time would tell. I mean, that's your decision to make. That's not mine. I'm willing to run the risk, and we do drug testing there if anybody there's anything wrong. And he has a vehicle now that for 2 more years he has to breathe into a device to drive it, and he's monitored with tests weekly till 2012. And I think a person deserves another chance in life, but that's my opinion. Your opinion is the one that counts.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir, for coming down.
Mayor Goodman,
all right, Councilor Wilson.
I'm trying to understand exactly where you are, sir. Your potential employer here said that you're currently under some sort of monitoring program. Are you on probation or parole right now?
No, sir. I got an honorable discharge from Nevada's parole. I have the honorable discharge. I am in this SOP program with Miss Laurel Turner.
Okay, that's a serious offender program. Is it because you have a pending case?
No, I received a 3rd DUI, and this is you have the choice of attending this program or being in prison, and I chose the program, which it's a godsend. It really is.
And I'm very familiar with that program. My question is that normally when people are in that program, it's because they are currently in the court system with a pending case. And what they do is they offer the serious offender program as a chance toward rehabilitation and things like that, with an incentive at the end that if you complete the program, you're given something. So do you have a pending case in the system?
It's a pending DUI.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to be in the program for how long?
Until mid-2012.
Okay, and when mid-2012 comes around, assuming you are successful, that 3rd offense DUI is going to be reduced down to a misdemeanor. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once again, I'm very familiar with the program, and what I'm trying to bring out to my colleagues here is that he's got many more problems in this council. if he violates this serious offender program, you go to state prison. Isn't
Yes,
that
sir, I
right?
do. Yes, sir, I do.
So you've got a lot of hammers hanging over your head right now to remain sober,
Yes, sir.
remain drug-free, not drive a car while under the influence of alcohol. In fact, you have a no-alcohol condition as part of this program, right?
Absolutely.
And once again, if Laurel Turner or her people find out that you've had one sip of alcohol, they can kick you out of the program and you will go to prison. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Once again, I understand how the program works. I wanted to make sure my colleagues understand that. And did you plead guilty to something so you have a suspended sentence? So that if you violate, you have a particular sentence yet or no?
I pled guilty to a third DUI.
Yeah, so you're looking at 1 to 6 years in prison if you violate the terms of the serious offender program.
Yes, sir, I am.
And I'm not.
I believe it's actually 2 to 6.
Okay, and I'm not advocating that you do. I'm hoping that you do a great job.
This program is it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
When's the last time you had a sip of alcohol?
It was January 9th, 2007. No, 2008, right before because I went to prison.
Okay, so a year and 3 months or so.
It's
2 years.
It's just over 2 years.
You said January of 8 or January of 9?
2008.
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, well, good work. And I'm just going to voice my thoughts while I have the bully pulpit, and that is that I'm in favor of giving people a second chance. You know, maybe this is your third or fourth chance, but the way I look at it is you're coming to us asking for our permission to work. I mean, that's what these work cards are all about. You want to work. This gentleman has confidence in you. He's giving you a chance. So I'm all in favor of giving you a chance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any comments or questions?
Mr.
Councilman Anthony and then Councilwoman Tarkanian.
Yeah, Mr. DiFiore, did you say the condition to get this work card is that he can only work at one of these 2 locations and he can't go to work anywhere else with the work card?
Normally, what council will do is they will issue a temporary work card for a period of time, which is site-specific. In this particular case, this is the first time that we've had an applicant, Mr. Matanovich, come forward and said he would like to have the ability to have him work at either one of the 2 locations that he owns and operates. The other Foothills Express Lounge is in Ward 1, so this would certainly be a consideration that council could take and limit it to one location or allow them to work in both locations should he get called in to fill in for vacations or sick or whatever.
Okay, but the question is he can't go to a different business with that work card.
Right. He
under
cannot,
this condition.
Under that condition, he could not.
Okay, thank you.
Right, Councilwoman Tarkanian.
Could you tell me the date of the last DUI?
It was 11/11/07.
1107, and that was when you were arrested?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, this is presently in Councilman Ross's ward, Ward 6.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Hill, this is quite humbling, I'm sure, for you to have to do this. Mr. Matanovich, sorry. I appreciate you being here because that certainly shows your friendship and support of Mr. Hill's desire to work for you. I hail you and applaud you for what you've done and overcome. I am concerned, and I've shared my concern with Mr. DiFiore in regards to the appeal of your work card. I'm a firm believer and strong believer in the work card process. It's there for a reason. I support our police department in their efforts to maintain these, and you guys know that as well. I would be hard-pressed, however, to approve your appeal because I think I would be putting the, how did you say it, Mayor?
The fox in the hen.
Fox in the hen house, and I'm concerned about that. It'd be very tempting for you, I think, in that environment. I don't believe that the county requires work cards, Mr. DiFiore, in the county locations.
They do. For bartender, they do require a work card.
But I can't support it, and I apologize to you because I think you've done a tremendous job as to where you're at today. maybe as a little more time goes by, I could support this. I think Councilman Wolfson has made it clear, certainly to me, Councilman, and thank you very much, where you're at and what would happen if you made a mistake. And I think you know that as well.
Councilman Ross, with all due respect, the fox in the hen house, my hen house would be unemployed with nothing to do, sitting at home. That's actually my hen house. Every individual is different. When I'm working and busy, I'm out of trouble. When I'm unemployed and home, that's when the trouble happened for me in my past. Now, I'm not saying that this would happen now, but in the past, that's how it would happen.
I appreciate that. That makes it just that much more difficult for me, Mr. Hill, because I'm a big supporter of jobs, and I want you to get a job. I want you to provide for yourself, provide for your family, keep your hands busy. That's what I want you to do, because you will stay out of trouble. I know I do when I'm busy. But at the same time, I cannot support your appeal this time. And ready to make a motion, Your Honor?
Yes, we're ready for a motion.
I would move to deny the appeal on agenda item 51.
Vote, please. Post. Let's see. All right, motion fails. All right, is there another motion?
I'd be glad to make it.
All right.
You've gained the confidence of most of us, and Councilman Ross, you know how much respect I have for you and the positions you take, but we're going to give you a chance, it looks like, upon my motion to, I guess, grant your appeal and go along with the recommendations by Mr. DeFiore, that it be site-specific to these two locations where Mr. Matanovich has an interest. Is that your recommendation?
Actually, I have some conditions that I'd like to propose now that we have that opportunity. Condition 1 would be a 6-month site-specific to the Foothill Lounge and the Foothill Ranch businesses here in the city of Las Vegas. Condition 2 would be any arrests or citations of any kind by Mr. Hill must be reported to business services in writing within 48 hours of the incident.
The only exception I take to that is just normal traffic tickets. If he gets a traffic ticket for speeding, I don't think he has to report it.
Okay.
Certainly, if it's for a DUI, yes.
Right.
Is that acceptable?
That's acceptable. Number 3 would be any change of employment in the city limits where a work card is required must be approved by the City Council. And condition 4 would be a 6-month review before the City Council accompanied by his employer to give us a status report.
Sir, are those conditions acceptable to you?
They are very acceptable.
Great. So my motion is to grant your appeal with those conditions. Thank you, Mr. DeFiore.
Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Now, Mr. Hill, you're a lucky fella.
Thank you.
And you're not a dummy.
I'm not.
You got an anvil over your head.
Yes, I do.
Don't blow it.
I'm not going to blow it. My freedom with my family and friends is far too much valuable.
And I believe you. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, items 52, 53, and 54. 52 is discussion and possible action on an estimated allocation of $5,133,572 in fiscal year 2010-2011 Community Development Block Grant funds to the City of Las Vegas by the Department of Housing and Urban Development pertaining to all wards. 53 is discussion and possible action on an estimated allocation of $225,677 in fiscal year 2010 to 2011 emergency shelter grant funds to the City of Las Vegas by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And 54 is discussion and possible action on an estimated allocation of $1,002,015 in fiscal year 2010-2011 housing opportunities for persons with AIDS. Grant funds to the City of Las Vegas by the Department of Housing and Urban Development pertaining to all wards. Mr. Harson.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Steve Harson, Director of Neighborhood Services. As part of the overall process, Neighborhood Services works with the 13-member CDRB board that is appointed by the Mayor and Council. Each of these members have committed over 30 hours personally during their time to hear presentations and deliberate over the applications. That's a combination of 400 hours that this committee has spent working through the recommendations they're about to present. A total of 59 applications were received by the CDRB board for the recommendations, and the request for federal funds far exceeds the amount as far as the funds that are available to actually allocate. In keeping with the city's priorities, the funding recommendations do satisfy that 5 programs provide senior-related services, 10 programs are providing youth-oriented programs and services, 10 programs are providing services towards special needs, and 16 of the programs are providing homeless-type services. At this point, I'm going to let Tim Wright give a brief overview of the funding and how they're categorized, and then in turn, I'm going to have the chair and vice chair give the board's recommendations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Whitworth.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I just want to clarify for you that out of the $6.2 million that are being discussed this morning, there's just over $4 million that are actually going to be used for a combination of city programs, construction projects, and then administration of those federal programs. For example, $250,000 go toward the city's single-family rehab program. There's also nearly $400,000 available for construction projects within our targeted low-income neighborhoods. And then one I think that gets forgotten about quite a bit is that this year there's over $2.5 million, in fact it's 41% of those funds available, that go toward bond payments. And what the bond payments are is, in any one given year there's never enough funding to actually pay for the construction of, a community center, for instance. So what the city does is it supports the sale of a bond that then raises that cash so that you have enough to actually support that construction. What Neighborhood Services does in return is we pledge future funds, grant funds, to make those annual payments. This year in particular, the payments are going toward the East Las Vegas Community Center, and then there's the recently constructed Stupak Community Center. The terms on those bond payments are generally 10 years. So again, that's when it gets forgotten. I want to make sure you're aware of that. Finally, just over $1 million does go toward administrative costs. That's to administer the federal programs, and that, quite frankly, pays for the staff salaries, the supplies that are necessary, and the equipment to, again, administer those federal programs. That comes out to about 17% of the funds. And then finally, the nearly $2 million, $1.9 million actually of funds that are reviewed by the CDRB represent basically 3 programs, and that's our Community Development Block Grant Program, our Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS program, and then our Emergency Shelter Grant Program. The application process itself for those grant programs, we do give priority consideration to the following, and that is homeless prevention and outreach, to our senior services, our special needs populations, and then finally our youth. And with that, I'd be very proud to introduce our CDRB chair, Ms. Carmen LaShawn Miller, and then as well our CDRB co-chair, Mr. Thomas McGrath, and they'll go ahead and introduce to you the recommendations made by the board this year.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor and Council. Carmen LaShawn Miller, Chair of the Community Development Recommending Board. The city is limited by federal regulations to allocating only 15% of its community developing block grant funds to public service projects. The city set aside $166,505 to partially fund leisure service community centers, which is Safe Key, Recreation, and Track Break programs. The programs serve well over 3,000 low-income children throughout the city. These children receive tutorial assistance, cultural arts experience, in addition to recreational activities after school and during track breaks. The board reviewed 45 CDBG public service applications from local nonprofit agencies requesting a total of $1,927,643. The total funding available was $603,531. All applicants for each program were asked to prioritize their funding needs to assist the board in allocating such limited funding. Agencies were informed that the council's priorities for this upcoming fiscal year were the following: homeless outreach and prevention, youth programs focusing on academic skills, and early childhood development, special needs populations, and seniors. The board recommended funding for 27 of the 45 CDBG public service applications in the total amount of $603,531 as listed in the agenda memo. Now at this time I'd like to introduce Mr. Thomas McGrath, this year's co-chair, to summarize the remaining recommendations.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. Good morning, Mayor and City Council. The city is the designated recipient of housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, HOPWA, Funds for All of Clark County, Nevada. The board reviewed 5 HOPWA applications requesting a total of $1,145,861. The total funding available was $971,955. The board recommending funding for all 5 of the HOPWA applications in the total amount of $971,955 as listed in the agenda memo. This funding will provide services to address the needs of persons affected by HIV/AIDS, including rental assistance, affordable housing, case management, and emergency services. The board reviewed 7 emergency shelter grant applications requesting a total of $357,899. The total funding available was $214,394. The board recommended some funding for all 7 applications in the total amount of $214,394 as listed in the agenda memo. These ESG projects will provide shelter to address the needs of homeless persons and operational costs for emergency shelters. We had to make some very difficult decisions. In closing, a big thank you to staff. Their leadership greatly assisted us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your service, sir. The other members of the board
Yes,
here
Mayor,
today?
we have a couple of our board members that are here in attendance. I'd like to ask them to stand up
Please.
and introduce them. We have Ms. Verla Davis-Holgart, Devender Pappas, and Ms. Phyllis McFadden. We had 2 other members that wanted to attend, but unfortunately they're ill. That would be Debbie Consora and Pam Hartley. And so we're very appreciative at this. And at this time, we'll address any questions you may have concerning the recommendations we've placed before you.
Thank you. We wish those who are ill speedy recovery, and we want to thank you for your wonderful service. It's amazing that you volunteered to do a very important job, and you agonize over it. I know that, and you do wonderful work for us and take all the heat off of us. So we certainly appreciate that. All right. Are there any comments or questions by the council? Mayor Pro Tem?
No, I just make a motion.
Okay. If there aren't any, then we'll consider a motion, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, I want to thank you for your service to the city of Las Vegas and what you've done for us. On item 52, I move to follow their recommendation as well as staff's with all conditions, please.
Thanks. Let's vote. Opposed, please. Motion carries.
My motion for item 53 will be the same, Your Honor,
Thank
with all conditions.
Please vote. Opposed. Motion carries.
And 54, I would also like to thank staff for their endeavors supporting this also. So I would make a motion to approve item 54 with the recommendations.
Please vote. Opposed, please. Motion carries, and thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, item 55 is discussion and possible action on a request to install speed humps on Shoal Drive between Bristol Way and Burgundy Way. This is in Ward 1.
Boris Cervantes, Department of Public Works. This is a request to install 2 speed humps on Shoal Drive. Our traffic study indicated that this corridor has an 85th percentile speed of 28 miles per hour at a daily volume of 946 vehicles per day. It accumulates 12 of the 40 points required under the criteria for speed humps, and it's not an emergency response route.
All right, thank you. Gentlemen, did you wish to be heard?
Yes, sir. I'm the president of the Torrey Pines Preservation Association.
All right, please state your name for the record.
Chester Doherty.
And your address, please.
704 Shoal.
Thank you.
And, our consideration, I guess, put it there, but get that zoomed in there. The small stretch that we are talking about is the main concern is the children's safety. We don't want it to become a statistic and somebody get hurt. We wanted to fix the problem now. Early in the morning, we have cars flying by at easily 45 miles an hour. We even have school buses that are exceeding the speed limit and stuff on the street. And if you look on there, which is kind of hard to see with this, I guess, the coloring of the paper and stuff, but down at the end of Shoal, there's an apartment complex there, and there's only one way onto our street, and there's at least 100 and some kids that come out of there, travel down Shoal.
Could you point that out on the...
Yeah, Shoal is this street right here.
Okay, thank you.
And the apartments are right there at the end.
Right here.
Good, thank you.
And there's just a numerous amount of kids that just funnel down that street, and their parents with strollers and babies and stuff, and they all walk on the streets on the sides because we don't have the curbs and stuff. but or the handicap accessible curbs so they can go up and down. And the cars are just flying by. They don't slow down with the kids that are there. And at 5 o'clock and stuff, when traffic backs up on Charleston, it backs up all the way to Shoal. And then Shoal becomes the shortcut through our neighborhood to get to Alta, to get up on Rainbow and get to the freeway. So we're asking that we get, a couple speed bumps right there to slow these cars down before somebody's kids do get hurt, and hopefully not one of my grandchildren. My kids are now out of that school and they're in higher grades now, but now I've got my grandchildren living with me, and I don't want anything to happen.
Okay, I appreciate that. Would you other gentlemen like to be heard? Go ahead, please. Just give us your name and your address, please.
Hi, I'm Robert Kelly. I live at 709 Shoal, and I feel the same way as Chester. Cars just fly by us.
Okay.
Unbearable.
All right, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
My name is Russell Tracy. I'm at 6500 Bristol Way. That's at Bristol and Shoal. I also feel the same way. And I think you gave a number of 900 and some change of cars during 24 hours. That's a huge amount for our little tiny residential street. So we as just people on the street wanted to slow that down. There are a lot of people that are walking on the street during school hours, and we just want your help to get this done.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Ron Warga. I live at 6552 Casada Way. I'm a couple blocks up from the school, but I can look down my street and watch cars go flying across my street. There's one stop sign on the north-south. The rest of them are all stop signs on Evergreens where the stop sign north-south. It's a California stop. They just roll and stop, don't even slow down hardly. And at 7 in the morning, as he knows, there's a lot of kids on that street and we just need the speed bumps there to slow them down.
Right,
Just so you know, the school's right here. This is the school area, and the only way to get to it is
we don't
this
have it
one
on the
road.
overhead. Let's get it back on the overhead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, do it again, please.
The school is right here. The elementary school is
Right,
right
I
here.
got you.
And the only way to get to it from this back area is through this one little road. So everybody is coming down these two roads to get to the school.
All right, thank you for pointing that out. All right, any comments or questions? All right, Councilwoman?
This group connected with the Neighborhood Association?
Yes, we are.
Yes, and I know I've been to some of your meetings. I know how hard you've worked on this, and I've been out there, and I move to approve.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Post? Motion carries. Good luck, gentlemen. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you very much.
Councilmember.
Item 57 is R-18-2010, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution consenting to the undertakings of the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency in connection with the Commercial Visual Improvement Program agreement between the RDA and Fast Holdings, Inc., doing business as Peter Pan Motel, located at 110 North 13th Street, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the RDA. This is in Ward 3, and of course is related to the RDA item of earlier this morning, item number 4. Mr. Aron.
Thank you. For the record, Bill Arntz, Director, Office of Business Development. This item is a Visual Improvement Program grant up to a maximum of $50,000. The property owner is investing approximately $1.5 million into the interior of the building at 110 North 13th Street, which is near 13th and Fremont. The applicant meets the requirements of the VIP, offering a dollar-for-dollar match, and the estimated cost of the exterior improvement is $15,000, of which half will be reimbursed for the signage. Staff recommends approval.
Yes. I would follow the RDA's support this morning and make a motion for approval, please.
Okay. Let's vote, please. Post.
Yeah, he still looks like John Wayne.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 58 is R-19-2010, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution consenting to the lease of real property described as APN 139-21-313-017 by the City of Las Vegas and City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency for the Las Vegas Business Center located at 1951 Stella Lake Street in Ward 5. This item is related to the earlier RDA item number 5. Mr. Arndt.
Thank you. This item is a resolution consenting to the lease of the Las Vegas Business Center from the City of Las Vegas to the Redevelopment Agency. Pursuant to this, the NRS 268 requires the city to do a public purpose impact analysis to demonstrate the fact that It meets the redevelopment or economic development purpose and exemption under the law, and it does meet an economic development exemption. We submitted at this morning's item a public purpose impact analysis on the record, and I'd like to also make that same public purpose impact analysis part of the record for this item. Staff recommends approval.
All right, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Arndt? All right, hearing none, this is Councilman Barlow's ward.
Yes, Mayor. And once again, I would like to congratulate the Urban Chamber of Commerce as well as the Office of Business Development, Redevelopment Agency for a job well done. I believe that the Urban Chamber will do a very good job on behalf of the city and themselves as far as increasing the visibility of small businesses in the community and bringing more small businesses online in order to increase the economic status in our community today. So with that, I would like to move to follow staff's recommendation subject to all conditions.
Thank you. Please vote. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arndt. Item 59 is Park and Recreations Advisory Commission. The terms of Lisa B. Sherman, which expires April 1st, 2010, and Malcolm D. White expires April 7th, 2010. We have the options of reappointing both of them or appointing a new member to fill each one's seat. They're eligible, and both wish to be reappointed.
Your Honor, if no one else has an appointment, I will move to follow staff's recommendation, or Ms. Bastian's recommendation, to reappoint Ms. Sherman and Mr. White. They are current members, and they have done a good job for the city of Las Vegas.
Very good. That's the motion. Please vote. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. New bills, items 60 and 61, which are bills 2010-13 and 2010-14, will be heard at the recommending committee meeting on Tuesday, April 6, 2010. Mr. Jervik, could you read those, please?
On behalf of Your Honor, Bill number 2010-13, an ordinance related to zoning, revised provisions governing the effect of master sign plans, updated provisions governing general plan amendments and rezonings, and provide for other related matters, and Bill number 2010-14, an ordinance to clarify the authority of the city traffic engineer regarding residential parking permit zones and provide for other related matters.
Thank you. Councilman Barlow, will you be available on April 6th?
Yes.
And Councilman Anthony, will you be available at that time?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Then we'll assign those bills to you for your consideration, and we're going to move on to item number 82 at this point. 82 is to go into a closed session to discuss labor negotiations. May I have a motion, please, to go into closed session?
Are you saying 82?
62. I misspoke myself. Thank
Okay.
you.
He's betting his money this morning.
Right. I only skipped 20. That's all.
I move to go into closed session, please, and then to lunch.
All right. Thank you. Following the closed-door session, the council meeting will reconvene. It will be in recess until 1 p.m. Okay, let's vote on the Mayor Pro Tem's motion, please. Post. Okay, motion carries, and we'll be in recess until 1 p.m. 1 p.m. We're going to go right into that session because I may have to be called away this afternoon. I'd like to participate. Very good.
Mayor Pro Tem, I may need more than the 3 minutes at citizen participation. This is gonna bring back. You're gonna have to remember it a long way back. Okay. If you sit down here, all you see is just that part of your head. I know, right? Oh, no, but when I look up, if you're sitting down there, all you see is that part of their head. It's just that top part of their head. You can't see their eyes if you sit down there. You come from planning. See, that's your see, you got your name. My name and I haven't seen you, okay? Yeah. Where you go? I'm gonna have to, seriously. Today I got something I'm going to tell you. See, something I'm going to tell you. See.
We got a letter today from item 65 to obey. You do have it on the sheet already? Okay. I didn't know if I was going to have to just come up and read it into the record. Or...
Bev, are you ready? Good afternoon. It being 1 o'clock, we'd like to get this afternoon session started. At this time, we'd like to excuse the mayor. He should be with us momentarily. He asked us to get going without him. He had a prior commitment during the lunch hour. The first item this afternoon is any item from the afternoon session that the council staff and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in advance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted on at this time.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem. Item number 65, public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 1309 North 22nd Street in the amount of $6,973 and assess a maximum of $105,700 in daily civil penalties. There's been a request to obey that item to the April 7th, 2010 meeting. Item number 78 is an abeyance item, special use permit public hearing, applicant Vegas Bail, owner Jack E. Kaysen and Maxine Kaysen Family Trust, an appeal from the denial by the Planning Commission of a request for a special use permit for a proposed 3,288 square foot bail bond service at 3325 West Sahara Avenue. There is a request to obey that item to the April 7th, 2010 meeting.
Council members, are there any other items?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay.
Yes, item number 79, I would like to withdraw without prejudice. And item number 80, I would like for it to be tabled.
80 would like to be what now?
Table.
Mayor Pro Tem. And Councilman, have you discussed with the applicant on number 79 the withdrawal?
I have.
Okay. And they're okay with that?
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
What did you do with 80?
Okay.
80 is table.
Pardon? Item number 79 is abeyance item, special use public hearing applicant Ham Haim Gabby, owner of Fremont Associates, Inc. Has been withdrawn without prejudice at this time. And item number 80 is a special use permit public hearing. Applicant Calvin Peterson, owner, Kim Tari, Fortune et al. On 1501 West Cary Avenue. Councilman Barlow would request that to be held and to be tabled. Are there any other items? Do we have a motion, please?
Yes, my motion is to take the action as requested. And Mayor Pro Tem, I would notice that there appears to be some people in the audience that have looks on their faces like they don't understand what's going on, so perhaps an explanation at the appropriate time might be appropriate. But in any event, my motion is consistent with what myself and my colleagues have stated.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Cast your vote. Post. For those of you that we're just going through the items that we're not going to be hearing today, there's been a request by the applicant and or the council to take different action at a different time. Item 64 is a public hearing to consider the expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 4312 Fulton Place in the amount of $1,553 and assess a maximum of $44,050 in daily civil penalties. Property owner Jamie Gerstenberger. This is in Ward 1. Councilman Tarkanian. Mr. Smith, please. This is a public hearing. I declare it open.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired Blast Janitorial to board all openings to City of Las Vegas specifications, remove all trash, debris, and high vegetation. To date, there have been 6 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $119,500. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $500 invoice for Blast Janitorial Services in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $1,553 and consider assessing a maximum of $44,050 in daily civil penalties.
Is the owner present? Is there anyone here wish to speak on this item? Seeing no one, Councilwoman Tarkanian.
Devin, did anybody connected with this building have any contact with you at all?
I show no contact with the owner during the abatement process. And just for the record, there have been 12 attempts at every address that we could find for this person, both certified and regular mail. We have sent out 12 separate mailings to try to get a hold of this individual.
Well, I would move that we recover costs of $1,553 for what we had to correct and $20,000 in daily civil penalties.
You've heard the motion. Any question on the motion? Hearing none, cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries. Item 66 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 1321 North 23rd Street in the amount of $5,445.50 and assess a maximum of $78,550 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is Jesus Maria and Raquel Morales. This is in Ward 3. Mr. Smith.
Again, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. The purpose and background as to the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired Blast Janitorial Services to board all open doors and windows on the main structure, install no trespass signs, remove all trash and debris, cut and remove all high and dead vegetation, paint over graffiti, and remove all vehicles stored on property. To date, there have been 13 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $216,500. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include an $850 invoice for Blast Janitorial Services in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $5,445.50 and consider assessing a maximum of $78,550 in daily civil penalties.
This is a public hearing. Are the owners present? Anyone else wishing to speak on this item? Yes, sir.
The name hard is that, you know that already, whatever. But anyway, we all know Jesus in Spanish, you know, I mean, it's spelled like Jesus, whatever. The point is, this person never made any contact with you, right? Nope. Is it because they don't speak English, or they left town, or what?
Well, actually, we met with the owner's daughter and went over all the violations, and then they failed to comply.
That's the name of that game, right? Okay, so thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. I would make a motion to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at this location for $5,445.50 and assess a maximum of $20,000 in daily civil penalties. Any questions on the motion? Cast your vote. Post, please. Motion carries. Item 67 is also a public hearing to consider a report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 604 Casper Avenue in the amount of $1,755.35 and assess a maximum of $40,350 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Flora J. Reed and Leon Turner. This is in Ward 5, Councilman Barlow's ward. I declare the public hearing open. Mr. Smith.
Good, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. The purpose and background to the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired American Demolition to board all open doors and windows on the main structure, install no trespass signs, remove all trash and debris, and cut and remove all high-end vegetation from entire property. To date, there have been 10 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $115,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,109 invoice for American Demolition Services in addition to other fees for a total of $1,755.35 and consider assessing a maximum of $40,350 in daily civil penalties.
Is Ms. Reed or Ms. Turner here? Mr. Turner? This is a public hearing.
Thank you. Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. I have a question. How long did it take this property to degenerate into what is shown here on the monitor? I mean, has this been like a year or 2 years or 3 years or what?
To be honest with you, I couldn't answer that because we respond to complaints. We're a complaint-driven department, so once we receive the complaint on the property, we went out, and that's when we start our notification process and we start open a case and our enforcement on that property. And then from that time to this time is where we are today.
Again, Mayor Pro Tem, this is my problem. Before this complaint even came, these people might have tolerated this thing for years. I mean, from what I'm seeing, it looks like that property has been abandoned for, well, I don't know, it looks like it's been abandoned for 20 years. But those poor neighbors probably put up this for 2 years before it was complained against.
Anyone else wish to speak? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Barlow, please.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, thank you. Devin, any contact whatsoever in response to the notifications that we've sent out, the numerous notifications that I've reviewed in my backup?
No, we've had no response from the property owner of record.
No response. I can share with you that this property has been a nuisance for quite some time, and I'm glad that we were able to go out and address it very swiftly. It's unfortunate that the property owners were non-responsive because the neighbors have been crying out for help for quite some time in regards to the unsightliness of the property at hand today. So my motion today will be to move that we recapture the $1,755.35 that the City of Las Vegas has put forward from the general fund to correct the blight at this property, and also assess the maximum of $40,350 on this property for
Thank you.
civil daily penalties. That
Thank
would be
you.
my motion at this time.
Thank you, Councilman Morrow. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries. Mayor?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem. Item 68 is public hearing to consider a request for a waiver and or a reduction of fees for the property located at 4901 Donald Road in the amount of $318,661.26. The property owners is Pay Dirt IRR Business TR et al. This is in Ward 6. It's a public hearing which is now declared open. Am I reading that right?
Yes, sir.
318,000?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
Okay, good afternoon, Mayor, members of the council. Lisa Morris-Hibler, Deputy Director, Neighborhood Services Department. Today we're here for a request for a waiver for 4901 Donald Road. We had two abatements conducted on the property. One was in June 4th, 2008, and the second one was on July 16th, 2008. The fees associated with the case, or the two abatements, is $17,593.85. To date, they paid $325, and the total owed with the civil penalties is $318,661.26. At this time, I'd like to ask that the applicant be able to speak.
All right, please identify yourself.
My name is Elaine Elliott, and I work for Aspen Financial, who is the servicing agent for the new owners of the property who foreclosed on this property in June of 2009. And we're here today to ask you to give us a reduction and reduce this fine down to 10%. The owners of this property are multi-beneficiaries who foreclosed on the Pay Dirt development people, who are the ones that did not take care of this property. Since the time that our people have taken ownership, we have actually 12 acres there. We've spent about $10,000 cleaning up the 12 acres and have recently put up a fence around the property to protect it from dumping and illegal use by vehicles. The issue we have, though, is even if we can get the waiver or the reduction in the fine, I have to bill this out to multi-beneficiaries, and then we have to wait for them to pay us, and then we can turn around and pay the fine, whatever that will be, and the cost to abate this. So we probably are not going to be able to pay the fine for a while, and more than likely not the entire fine that you assess, and that at the time we sell the property is at the time where we probably would be able to pay the entire amount due. But we can do our best to invoice these folks and get them to pay at least some of this.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions at this time?
Your Honor, I'd like to...
Comments? Yes. It's a public hearing. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. I just
Please.
wanted to say that I've been in contact with Ms. Elliott and had explained to her that we may be able to get a reduction. What was recommended by staff is that they be that Aspen Financial pay the $17,593.85 for the abatement fees, the interest in the amount of $1,067.41, and 10% of the assessed daily civil penalties, which would be $30,000, for a total of $48,661.26. I did explain to Ms. Elliott that typically when an applicant comes before the council, they should be ready to make the payment, and so and I wasn't sure how much time it was going to take for her to get the payment. Thank you.
Very good. Public hearing, folks, if you'd like to be heard.
Thank you. Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. Mayor and council, I see no reason to have any sympathy on these people. The neighborhood has had to tolerate this crap for, years. And now they're coming and saying they're either not or they won't pay or whatever. Why do we have to come hat in hand asking them?
Anybody else like to be heard?
Kind of following him up a bit here. And it does sound like at this stage of the game, it is a business entity that is involved. And we sound like a regular Donnybrook. y'all got to go back and forth, whatever. And at the end of the day, I hope that you get most of your money that is owed to you. But the way, look, this is a game being played. It's been that way for years, and it's time to pay up, catch up, or whatever. But don't let them get completely away. Get some of your money. That's all I have to say.
Anybody else like to be heard? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing then. Did you want to be heard again?
Well, I did want to say that it is not a business entity that owns the property. It's the original lenders that were multi-beneficiaries, individuals that actually own the property. Aspen is just their servicing agent carrying on for them.
Thank you.
Oh, and one other thing, sorry. We do have 3 potential offers on the property. They're not very much. In fact, on one of the properties, what they would realize from the sale based on the offers we have, there was more owed to the city on that property than we would get from the sale.
Thank you very much. All right. This is Councilman Ross's ward.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lisa, repeat again what your recommendation to this council is for me, please.
Yes, sir. It is that they pay the $17,593.85 in the abatement fees, $1,067.41 in interest, and $30,000 in daily civil penalties for a total of $48,661.26.
And if this waiver is granted, the applicant has also requested permission to pay these fees in escrow upon the sale of property. Am I correct?
Yes, we will attempt to collect as much as we can from the investors on this property, but there will be some investors who will not pay.
But upon the sale of this property, can we expect the city of Las Vegas to receive the $48,661.26?
Yes, sir.
I want to make a blanket statement to my colleagues on the council. And, Your Honor, when you read the $318,661, I believe this was an assessment we'd levied on this property at a previous council meeting. What I'm finding, and I think we're all going to find this, is as we apply these stiff penalties on the civil side of this to try to get that money back, it's almost a waste of time because it is such a struggle to get lenders. And I'm not blaming you or who you represent, but the mortgage companies, the banks. It is almost a crime that is being committed because it's difficult for us to collect this kind of money. But with that, Ms. Elliott, are you in agreement with the recommendations from Ms. Elliott?
Yes, I am. Thank
you. My motion, Your Honor, is to follow staff's recommendations.
All right, that's the motion. Let's vote, please. Host? Motion carries. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Item 69 is a public hearing to consider a request for a waiver and or reduction of fees for property located at 4950 Durrell Lane in the amount of $163,500. The property owners are Pay Dirt IRR Business TR et al., and this is in Ward 6 as well. It's a public hearing, which I now declare open.
Lisa Morris-Hillner, Deputy Director, Neighborhood Services Department. Mayor, members of the council, this is a related case to the prior case that we just heard. There was an abatement conducted on the property on May 14, 2008. Fees associated with the abatement and inspections totaled $10,521.85. To date, $400 has been paid. The total owed on the case with the civil penalties is $164,450.02. At this time, I'd like to have the applicant address the council.
This is exactly the same situation.
For the record, since it's a new matter, would you please state your name again?
Elaine Elliott, Aspen Financial.
Very good, thank you.
Mayor, if I may, the staff's recommendation is that the applicant pay $10,121.85 in abatement fees, $950.02 in interest, and $15,338 in daily civil penalties for a total of $26,409.87.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Councilor Wilson.
Ma'am, same investors? Is it the
No,
same
actually,
group?
no, they're not. They're not the same investors. It's a different group of lenders on this piece. This is actually a 12-acre site, and we have several loans. We had several loans on this site, and these are the two that had problems.
My only observation is that had we not assessed the civil penalty to bring the total amount owed at 164, whatever it is, they may be asking for a reduction and a waiver on just our out-of-pocket costs. Because we did impose the civil assessments, they're asking for a waiver of basically 90% of that. So we are getting something out of this eventually. That's just an observation.
All right. Public hearing, folks, if you'd like to be heard.
Thank you. Todd Farland, 240 North 19th Street. I would like to know who put this financial scheme together. Who brought, was it Aspen Financial that brought all these people together? Then the service person, the person that put all these together, should be held responsible. If they went out and found a bunch of investors that are not, that can't be brought to task, well, then they should be held responsible. Somebody has to take.
I know we want to move on with the meeting, but people always throw things at me, and I got to clear this up later. You said it ain't a business. Well, the word business should not be on this agenda. The word business is posted right here. So you don't call it, you can call it whatever you want, but the word business is posted on this agenda. So I have to go by that one word. Or y'all call your situation whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But the word business did show up, and it's on here in plain writing. The word business itself. How it got there, I don't know. Why y'all use it, I don't know. But the word business is on there, and that's why I spoke to that word particularly. So as he was saying, y'all probably run around the game playing whatever, come with all kind of titles and whatever it takes. The name of the game is business was mentioned. So whatever you call yourself, you are a business entity of some kind. Sorry about that.
All right, Ms. Elliott, we don't usually kill the messenger. We understand. All right, anybody else like to be heard? All right, seeing now, we'll close the public hearing then. Councilor Ross.
Ms. Elliott, thank you very much. Thank you, Your Honor, for being down here to get these things cleared up. I'd much rather be dealing with development issues and not abatement issues in Ward 6. That's certainly. Lisa, would you repeat your recommendation for the record, please?
Yes, sir. That the applicant pay $10,121.85 in abatement fees, $950.02 in interest, and $15,338 in daily civil penalties for a total of $26,409.87.
And the applicant is also requesting that these fees be paid in escrow upon the sale of the property. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And with that, Your Honor.
It's a lien on the property at this point in time.
Yeah. With that, that's my motion.
All right. Let's vote, please. Host.
And I want to make a comment, too, Your Honor.
Sure. Motion carries.
Councilman Wilson is absolutely correct. We are at least getting something. Certainly what we've spent, plus a little more of the sting, if you will, for allowing these properties to become in this condition. Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Good luck to you, man. Item 70 is a public hearing to consider a request for a waiver and or reduction of fees for the property located at 5724 Taj Mahal Drive in the amount of $40,000. The property owner is U.S. National Bank Association, TRS. This is in Ward 6 as well. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Today's hearing is a request from U.S. Bank for a waiver or reduction of the fees imposed on the parcel. There was an abatement conducted on the property on November 24, 2008. Fees associated with the abatement inspections total $3,524. To date, there have been no payments made, and the total owed on the case with civil penalties is $44,792.87. At this time, I would like to request that the representative for the owner be allowed to speak.
All right, ma'am, please identify yourself.
My name is Lisa Minnick. I am the field agent for Andrea Ayers, and she's the listing agent for U.S. Bank and Bank of America. And I have a letter here, I guess from you, saying that the fines would be reduced to $7,700.
Staff's recommendation, Mayor and Council, is that the applicant be able to pay $3,524 in abatement fees, $68.87 in interest, and $4,120 in daily civil penalties, which is 10% of the daily civil penalties, for a total of $7,712.87.
And when would that be paid?
I have an email from First American Title saying it was paid on March 10th, and I have a check number here.
When you say it was paid, they've drawn a check payable to the city in that amount?
I believe so.
We haven't received it, but I will check.
Okay, well, that's a little premature because we haven't acted on this yet, but I understand where they're coming from. All right. Public hearing, folks. Anyone like to be heard? And you might want to give...
I know you say don't kill the message, all that. Remember now, you got U.S. Bank, and then they said that Bank of America's in the background. I would trust Bank of America as far as I could throw that bunch. But whatever it is, get your money. Thanks.
All right. If you've got the check number, so we'll be able to trace that. I
Yes, I'll
appreciate that.
follow through.
All right. Either way, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Ross?
Thank you, Your Honor. And ma'am, I don't expect you to answer these questions, but I'm going to ask them anyway.
Okay.
This is a single-family dwelling.
I believe so,
That
yes.
a family apparently lost in foreclosure, no doubt.
Mhm.
I'm wondering and curious if the U.S. National Bank did anything to help those people modify their mortgage or help them keep them in their home, or likewise with Bank of America. Can you answer any of those questions?
I have no idea. I know Bank of America is one of the tougher ones that I've come across. Other than that, I have no information.
And you understand the frustration from this mayor and this council in regards to these large banks and these mortgage companies doing nothing to help these families out? Do you understand that frustration?
Absolutely. I
know
used to be
you
in the
do.
lending industry, so
Yeah.
I
It's kind of tough because I'm looking at that 40,000 and thinking to myself, why would I waive that? Why don't we just go after these big banks and get this money? I mean, we're trying to teach them. I don't know if we're trying to teach them a lesson, Mayor, or we're trying to send a clear message.
That's for sure. It's a wake-up call, and then the lesson follows.
All right, you say the check's already been sent.
Yes.
With that, Your Honor, I'm going to follow staff's recommendation. You want to add something?
I was just going to add, you may want to just maybe obey this item for another 2 weeks, just to make sure we do have the check, or place the lien on the property. And if we do have the check, then we can release the lien.
If I may, Mayor.
Yes.
The lien is already on the property, so I would just ask that we have 15 days to get the check, not obey the item, and then.
Right. Is that the motion, Councilman Ross?
That's the motion, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's vote.
Thank you, ma'am.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 71 is a hearing and possible action on a 45-day review for the vacant or abandoned buildings located at 4152 Silver Dollar Avenue, units 2, 4, 5, 7 to 8, 4168 Silver Dollar Avenue, units 1 to 4, 6 to 8, 4186 Silver Dollar Avenue, units 1 to 7. The property owners are RFH La Paz, LLC, and this is in Ward 1.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. Just a little background on this. This is a review of a case that the nuisance cases were generated July 18, 2009. On March 4, 2009, the public hearing to consider the report of expenses on all 15 properties were heard before the City Councils and scheduled for review on April 15th. On April 15th, 2009, Councilwoman Tarkanian requested a 3-month review. The 3-month review hearing was a status of compliance and review of civil penalties at these locations. On July 15th, Councilman Reese made a motion to approve subject to conditions, including a review on September 16, 2009. That was a 45-day review. On September 16, 2009, Councilwoman Tarkanian made a motion to set up a payment plan of $500 a month and request a 6-month review on the property. As of today, there has been one payment for a total of $500 made on that property. No further payments have been made. The property continues to be in compliance at this time, and we've had no further complaints or problems at that location.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Smith? I see a gentleman is standing behind you.
Good afternoon, Rex Henriot, managing member of RFH La Paz, 3910 Pecos McLeod. Before I get started, I have a receipt, and I don't know if I didn't bring it with me, that I paid $2,000 against this fine this week, and I did that at the 6th floor of this building. Is there any way we can?
Well,
I can check on that. I don't.
I will accept your representation on that. You're not going to make that up, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I would like to take a moment to respectfully remind the council that the circumstances that brought this property under the scrutiny of the council and Mr. Smith's office was prior to my taking over ownership. Since I did take over ownership in August 2008, I've worked with Mr. Smith's office 100%. I've been consistent in all the recommendations and requirements that they've made of me to improve the property. And I've also been consistent in the maintenance of the property. I brought along a few photos just I took this morning as well. Just wanted to take a moment. I took some photos of my neighbors.
Okay,
and
it's not. There we go.
Can you see it? Okay. Just took a few photos of the neighboring properties on Silver Dollar, just to act as a reference to the photos that I have of my property as well, to show that I'm consistent in my maintenance of the property, consistent with the standards of the neighborhood. If I could. Those were my neighbors. Let me show you my property.
Could we get those on the overhead?
They are on the overhead.
Not here.
No, not now. Oh, I don't know about out there. Let's try to get it on the overhead. It is? Okay. It's not on ours now. There it goes. We're okay now.
And this is my property as of this morning. And I think you can see that I'm consistent in my maintenance. If you had the video from August of 2008, obviously with all the boarding up of the property and the disrepair, we've done a really good job, in my humble opinion, of keeping up with the property and bringing it back to livable conditions. And I took a moment just to show couple of interior shots of my tenants. I mean, my tenants have our cell phone numbers. They can call us 24 hours a day. We're bilingual, so we can respond to any needs they might have. But that's all I have to say. I will continue. I have been consistent in my maintenance of the property, and I will continue to do so. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, this is not a public hearing, Mr. Farlow. This one, if you have something vitally important, we'll hear from you, though.
No. I would just like to say this. For people like this that step up and fix up their properties and put the money back in and show that they're really making an effort, I say bully to them and, work with those. The people that won't do it, I have no use for those people at all.
Okay. All right, very good. Councilwoman Tarkanian, your pleasure, please.
I'd like to ask this Mr. Henriot, what's happening with him in the court system? Isn't he being heard in court or something on all this, or not?
Actually, if you'd like to let him respond, he did have a court hearing, and I was not present at that hearing, so I will.
Yes, I was cited by the city for the violation was a housing violation regarding essential services. Again, that was right at the time that we took over the property in 2008, and I'm currently, defending myself vigorously. My next hearing is in June, but it has not been settled as of yet.
And this was the hearing where we had the electricity off. The lady was on the respirator, and she needed to have oxygen. Had some problems.
Well, electricity is individually metered for every unit, and
at the time it was not.
Your Honor, if I may.
And
that
there's
was
some
Councilwoman, that was a gas.
Excuse me.
The gas to all
I'm
the
sorry,
units
gas.
was disconnected.
Gas. Well, why did the lady have trouble then? I thought it was electricity at one point too. Maybe that got corrected.
No,
But
the
didn't
electricity.
we have? Devin, let me just go back a minute. Didn't we have a problem that the bills to some of the utilities were not paid by management, and thus, because all of them were on the same bill, it wasn't separate apartment to apartment, they all got shut off?
That is correct. That was natural gas. The problem
that
that we
was
had
gas.
with the electricity is the woman that you're speaking of, her electricity kept getting shut off. So our department, along with Nevada Power, went out and did some research and identified that meters on the buildings were mismarked. So somebody else who wasn't paying their bill by accident, her electricity was getting shut off. And that was what that incident was. He had nothing
And that's
to do
been
with that.
corrected?
That has been corrected.
Okay.
We had all
Now-
the meters pulled, relocated, and properly.
So we're okay on the electricity. And how about the gas? Are there separate meters on the gas then?
There's one gas meter for the entire building and one water for the entire building.
We better not fall, again, short, somebody not paying, because it is a tremendous hardship on people if you have air conditioning or something, it's the middle of the summer. And originally we had put, how much was it that the penalty was going to be, the civil penalties?
It could have been in excess of $1 million.
It could have been in excess of $1 million, and instead of $1 million, I knocked it down. Was it 600 or 500?
Approximately half,
Yeah,
yes.
approximately half. Now, what happens to all of that? That just disappears. We don't go after any of that.
That
according to-
continues to remain as a lien on the property.
Oh, I see.
And he either continues to make payments, or it gets paid at some time of sale, or when they do a tax notice
And
on
he
the
sent one
property.
$500 check, and now he sent a $2,000 check. Did that cover enough of the cost it was for us, our expenses?
No.
So we still have, how much is left for our expenses?
I would have to go back and actually pull the record to find out, but I believe it's somewhere around $20,000.
That needs to be paid as quickly as it can be paid, because
It's
really
actually-
that's,
I'm sorry to interrupt. It's actually $30,000, and I'm committed to paying that down completely.
okay. And your recommendation is what, Devin? This is a sore point in that community, I want you to know, and we have people who call us still a lot about different things there. But go ahead, Devin.
We're recommending a 6-month review on this to be sure that he is in fact continuing to make payments, that he's in fact continuing to keep the property in the state it is today, and
See,
that we
because
don't have any further code violations on site.
Yeah, it's been several months since you paid the $500, right? And now we got a $2,000 check on the day. We might have taken some action. So I would just like to have, but maybe the $2,000 made up for the. Did it make up for 4 months?
September 16th, the $500 payment was made.
Well, you're a little behind there, but I'll go and my motion would be to follow staff's recommendation, and my recommendation to you would be, please pay off at least what we've already expended as quickly as you can.
I'm committed to that.
Okay.
That's my motion.
All right, let's vote on that motion, please. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may, can we get a date for that so that I can go ahead and be sure that for
Okay.
the record we're right?
Madam Clerk, are you able to give us a date on that? August 18th? Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Items 72 through 75 are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the Department of Planning and Development. May I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda, items 72 through 75?
Yes, Your Honor, make that motion with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post?
Mayor?
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. I need, that was item 72?
72 through 75.
Okay, then can I recall that? I need to put some things on the record.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we rehear item number 72, please,
And 73.
and 73.
All right. Let's vote on that, please. Post?
Okay.
All right, I have to read them into the record. 72, the motion carries. 72 is EOT 37321, extension of time, special use permit. The applicant is Blockhouse Capital Corporation. The owners are Park House LLC and Vida Ent LLC. Request for an extension of time of a previously developed special use permit for a proposed mixed-use development at 1001 North Main Street. This is in Ward 5, and the staff recommends approval. 73 is EOT 37329, extension of time, site development plan review, the same applicant, same owner. A request for an extension of time of a previously approved site development plan review for a mixed-use development consisting of 442 residential units and 31,000 square feet of retail space, and a waiver for reduction of a perimeter landscaping at 1001 North Main Street, Ward 5. Yes, Councilor Barlow?
Yes, Mayor. Are you representing this item, sir? Would you please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, please?
Thank you. My name is Jeff Sustaita, 4832 Magnolia Blossom. And first of all, I'd like to thank the mayor and the city council for taking time to review Blockhouse's extension and also for seeing me here today. I was just informed yesterday that Mr. Barlow, Councilman Barlow, is not completely happy with the state of the maintenance on the property. I immediately contacted a local landscape professional who will be maintaining and monitoring the property twice a month. In fact, he is at the property right now cleaning up the site. I received a notice from code enforcement approximately 6 months ago about the property and the condition. I immediately cleaned it up, and I also posted 2 large 4x4 no trespassing signs. Code enforcement had asked for 1, but because of the size of the property, I thought 2 would be more appropriate. I've always had a great relationship with code enforcement and with all the other local authorities, and I do take pride in working quickly to make sure that these matters are handled. I do, of course, do not enjoy getting notices from code enforcement, and I'm working hard to keep up the property. We do have a couple added challenges with the property because of its proximity to the homeless corridor. It frequently gets cluttered with litter, and this is especially true when the winds pick up. It seems to get trapped up against our chain link fence. We also have a continued problem with homeless trespassing and sleeping on the property. Now, I know none of these problems are anyone's except for the owners, but I would like you to know that I will make a continued effort to rid the property of trash, debris, weeds, and also the homeless. And lastly, I would like the city to know that the owners would appreciate any help that the council can provide, and that they are committed to do something with this parcel and do not want to sit on a non-performing 11-acre piece of vacant land. They want to add value to the city and to Ward 5, and we'd appreciate any help that you can provide.
All right, thank you very much, Councilor Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor, and I appreciate you, Jeff, for coming up here today. And you are accurate in your statement as far as my unhappiness in regards to the site. Mayor and Council, the site that he's referring to is at the northwest corner of Main and Washington, the old trailer court. I referenced the site as a hurricane hit it, the way it looks today. And I really appreciate you having your staff out cleaning that site up, because although it's a vacant site, it doesn't have to be a blighted site. And a big push that I started when I came on the council is the Clean Ward 5 campaign. And so I haven't been making too many friends with property owners, but I really personally don't care in the sense of if in fact a property owner is not keeping their property straight, then I'm making sure that my staff and I are out there to do what we need to do in order to clean Ward 5, because far too long glass, trash, and debris has been scattered throughout the ward in which I represent, and I'm not going to allow that to take place anymore. This is not a dumping ground for no property owner within the city of Las Vegas, and in particular Ward 5. And so my Clean Ward 5 campaign is working, because I see that you came in from San Diego to address this item, and I'm very pleased to see that you're here, and I'm looking forward to work with you to develop a good working relationship to assist in the process of that 17-acre site remaining free of all trash, glass, and debris. So the condition that I would like to impose today is I would like to for you to submit within the next 14 days a plan to keep the site clean, and also a 6-month review of condition from today's date. And if, Margot, you have anything to add to that, go ahead and chime in now before we move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bart. Councilman and Mayor, if I may request the city attorney's thoughts on this. This is an extension of time, so can you assist with how we would place this condition, if indeed it's a condition or if it's just a separate instruction to staff?
Mayor and Councilman, it's up to you, Councilman. Do you want to have it come back before you, or would you like staff to just go through that administratively?
The only thing that, I would like for it to come back before me in 6 months, without going into details as to why, but I would like for it to come back before me within 6 months to make sure that the site is clean.
And that's fine. The EOT, or the special use permit, will be extended for another, 2 years, as it normally is, but
Correct.
with a caveat that you would have a condition requiring it to come back within 2 years at a meeting before you in order to update you on the status of the property.
6 months.
6 months. Right. Normally, SUPs last for 2 years.
Right. I understand that the special use permit traditionally lasts for 2 years, and at that time, within 6 months, Jeff, if the site and everything is in compliance, then I will have a problem with moving forward with the extension of time at that time. So my motion at this point would be to have you come back before me within 6 months, and within 2 weeks, you submit to staff your plan for keeping the site free and clear of trash, glass, and debris.
Okay, now, Madam Clerk, what was that 6-month date again? August 18th, sir.
I think we need
Think
maybe a
that's
little
September
clarification.
15th?
Are we going to want to maybe obey this EOT for 6 months, or do you want to approve the EOT and then have them come back to you within 6 months?
I don't have a problem with obeying it 6 months and bringing it back, if that's easier.
Okay, that may be easier if we just go ahead and do it that way.
Okay, then I'll just obey this item for 6 months.
To the 9/15.
To the 9/15.
Okay.
Right.
Does that mean
Everything
now?
will remain as is.
Okay.
And you'll come back before me in 6 months after we evaluate how, in fact, you're able to keep the property up to the city's code.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll see you in 6 months.
And Councilman, at that time, if you're not happy with the property at that time, you can just go ahead and agree not to continue.
Extend the
SUP.
extension of time.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, that's on 72 and 73, is that correct?
That is on 72 and 73, Mayor. That will be my condition.
And
Margot?
that'll actually change the existing proposed conditions, number 1 on each, to instead of January 2012, it'll be the September 15th, 2010 date.
That is correct.
Okay, let's vote on that, please. Post?
Thank you, sir.
Councilman.
Thank you. And the Mayor Pro Tem, I don't believe we ever had the motion on 74 and...
Yes, we did.
We did, and that passed? Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, item 76 and 77 may be considered in one motion, one vote. They're considered routine public hearings with no condition changes. Any person representing an application or a member of the public or member of the council not in agreement with the conditions and all standard conditions for the application recommended by staff should request to have that item removed from this portion of the agenda. 76 is VAC 36979. The applicant owner is Caroline's Court, LLC. Petition to vacate a 20-foot public sewer easement generally located northwest corner of El Capitan Way and Durango Drive in Ward 6. 77 is VAC 36980. Applicant owner Caroline's Court, LLC. Petition to vacate 10-foot wide and 30-foot wide public drainage easements generally located northwest corner of El Capitan Way and Durango Drive in Ward 6. Planning Commission staff recommend approval for both items. Both items are public hearing items, so I now declare them open. Would anyone wish to be heard on these?
Real quick. It said staff and planning, approve of it, so that's a good thing. But Mr. Mayor, I know you wouldn't let me speak a while ago, but you let him jump up. That's beside the point. While I'm here, I'm going back one, whether you like it or not. You see, Ms. Titanium, when the lady was sick and the gas was, hold it.
No,
when the gas was turned off, electric controls the gas.
Please.
Okay, when the gas was turned off, Ms. Titanium, the lady didn't have no gas because the electric lighted up. Okay, gas was turned off.
Have a seat, sir, please. There are rules that we follow here. All right, may I have a motion, please?
Can we vote on both the items if you're on at the same time?
Yes.
On both agenda items 76 and 77, move to follow Planning Commission and staff's recommendation for approval.
Thanks. Let's vote, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Item 81. Madam Clerk, you're instructed to set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meetings in dangerous buildings or nuisance litter abatements, please. Thank you. This is the time, 82, is time for citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, give us your name, and we'll be happy to hear from you. 3-minute timer, please.
My name is Anthony Hart. I live 123 Sedavid. I don't really mean any harm, but I'm here today to straighten out something more important. But Mr. I tell you, when the gas is off, a hot water tank and a furnace, okay, it has that 110 thing that had to be turned on in order to make the gas come on. So if the gas is off, the lady was kind of suffering a bit, okay? But so it hadn't, so the electric wasn't off, but all the gas was on 1 meter. So I'm just letting you know she was in trouble. Sorry about that. Get them up 3 minutes, okay? Also, I'm here to talk about the jewel that I was here the last time about. It was about the name, a city, Las Vegas. Las Vegas was founded over 100-some years ago, and the name, Las Vegas. Even if you take the loss off and just use the word Vegas, you got that .com. The people ain't jive games. Let me tell you something. Okay, if you go to San Francisco, you say, I'm going to Frisco for short. If you're saying you're going to Los Angeles, you're getting so now, they just put L.A., okay? And they got a big old health word. It's called tuberculosis. They just use the word TB, or T and a B. What I'm really trying to say is that you got all kinds of things where names are being shortened, but that doesn't take it away from the whole entity. The name Las Vegas is one unit. And this city was named over 100-some years ago, and a city belongs to the people. And the federal government will cover it. The people who came in and tried to make that deal with y'all, they got 500-some people working, and y'all losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. You cannot take the name Vegas and spread it all over the world and say it don't belong to the city. It does belong to the city at all costs. And the federal government has to back you up from Washington, D.C. all the way down. I don't never come in and be wrong about anything. I said you get ripped off. The county, I went up and told them, hey, don't go for it. They didn't sign it nowhere. Barlow voted for it and you had 4 people, whatever you did. It's a joke. Don't go there. The city, the name Las Vegas, I don't care if you do use the word Vegas as you do out there on the strip for advertising, whatever. The name Vegas, and leave the loss off all day long. It doesn't matter. The name Vegas itself is a part of the actual entity of the name of the city. You can't beat it. You can't rob it. If y'all do, you're a lawyer and he's a lawyer. Clean it up and he's a lawyer. Make it sure. Gotta go now. I don't mean harm, but that's your jewel. That is a jewel. And you do own it. And it's not up for the city council to be acting on it. It ain't something to act on. The people come in trying to rip you off. They got 500 employees. They owe you money. Make them pay so you can keep some of these people employed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Thank you. Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. This is going to test your memory. Councilman Reese, if you remember years and years ago, those apartments at the end of Sunrise, by Sunrise and Eastern, they were condemned at one time. Several of those buildings were condemned. And you allowed them to be rehabbed if, on the condition, if I remember right, that they would use the rents or take the rents and apply them to bringing the buildings up to standard. Do you remember that? And if so, is that probation period or whatever you would call it, is that still in effect? But I'll tell you the reason where I'm going with this. I attended a meeting last night at East Las Vegas Community Center. And there's a developer, bless his heart, that wants to develop that Five Corners area, bring a lot of money in there. And when on several properties, when the developers came before the council and the planning commission, there was this magic number of 17 acres. They always said they have 17 acres to get these things to pencil out. All right? The developers that are that want to put the money into this area. I think they have about 9 acres or something like that. But if those people are still in probation, some of those buildings look like they've been abandoned. I don't know if they have or not, but there's windows knocked out and that. But I would hope that the city, in one of the departments or something, could get together with the owners of those terrible old slum areas down there and get together with this new developer that's coming in with the money in order to get the entire area done at one time. And
No chance.
the reason of my concern is that there's nothing worse than a boarded up commercial building. And I'm afraid if these people come in and put all that money in there and they board these buildings up, I mean, we'll be looking at that mess for years and years. So I'm questioning whether they can get this to pencil out without that magic number of 17 acres. And I mean, this is where I am now, and but that's my concern.
Thank you.
Todd, I'll get back with you.
Anybody else at this time? All right, seeing none, thank you very much. The meeting's adjourned. That's absolutely wrong. The meeting is in recess. We're going to go back into our personnel session.
Mayor?
Yes.
I do have an announcement before we go into the session.
Okay, I'm backwards here. Let's start all over again. We're going to go on to item number 83. And 83 is council member recognition. Comments made by individual city council members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the city council. Did you want to speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well then I'm going to go backwards again. I feel like a gyroscope here. We'll go back to item 82 and forget about anything I said after Mr. Farlow sat down. Yes.
I'm sorry. My name is Denise Brockway, and I'm glad to meet you all. This is my first time being here, and I'm just elated because it's something, I've always wanted to do, and I've watched you many times over, Mayor, and all the councilmen. But I'm here because I was concerned about what he said, and the guy before that was talking, what you were talking about all the debris and all the mess was in front of them and the homelessness. Well, me personally, because I've been in that situation in the shelters and stuff like that, and I know that we're trying to do something with the homeless people. Me personally, I think with a situation like that, when the homeless people, because they're out there because no jobs or because of their alcohol problem, drugs or whatever, and for us to be able to put them back and make them, become productive citizens, I think because of the situation that this young man that just left was in, that maybe we should be able to put them to work, make them come back and clean up the mess that they put down to make the main street, in the mess that it's in. Because, Mayor, to me, they're still people, and they need jobs. Las Vegas is in a very, very, very terrible state right now, and people all over the country now. There's homelessness. You can't get rid of it. There's no way on earth. And what the states and the cities and United States and all over the world we need to do now, because of all the foreclosure, because of recessions, in order to bring back Las Vegas to make it a great state again, in order for us to do that, we need to be getting out, trying to help these people by putting money back into the system. And that is, if it's paying $5 or $6 an hour for these homeless people to get out and clean up the mess that they're in, because I've been down on Main Street, and I've been all over, and I walk, and you see them, they're hanging around, they've got these signs up, wanting, asking, begging for money, stuff like that. And I know, I don't know much about you, Mayor, but I know that you do not care for the homeless people to be here. And I mean, and I'm saying we because I was there myself at one time, not out there begging, never. situations happen, circumstances happen, for things to happen, because nobody is exempt from being homeless. I don't care what you're doing, how wealthy you are, or anything like that. No one is exempt. It happens. It happens to the best people. We have veterans out there that's homeless, shouldn't be. They've been across the United States fighting for us. They're homeless.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, and so
I have to cut you short, though. I'm sorry. We have to get into a personnel session.
Okay.
But thank you for coming down. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else before I go on to the next item? All right, then we'll go on to item number 83. City Council member recognition. Comments made by individual City Council members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. Would any member of the Council like to be heard? Councilwoman Tarkanian and then Councilman Barlow.
First, I wanted to mention that tomorrow afternoon from 2 to 3:30, there's a neighborhood meeting at Sunrise Gardens with people from Clark Towers and Clark Terrace invited, and it's a general meeting on working within the neighborhood. And then secondly, I wanted to announce that Councilman Barlow and I are partnering on a mini March Madness event, which will take place on April 6th, beginning at 6 o'clock, and it will be at Mirabelli and Doolittle. And we will have boys and girls actively involved. And we're giving trophies. And we're just going to see if we can generate a crazy March Madness with the that age group.
Are you accepting bets on the games?
No, thank you, Mayor.
just checking. Councilman Barlow.
Yes, actually, I would like to ask that my colleague, Councilman Ross, announce a great event that's taking place out in Ward 6 on March 27th. Councilman?
Thanks for reminding me, Councilman. I appreciate that. The actual grand opening of the Clark County Shooting Park will be happening on the 27th. That's Saturday. So I'd encourage all of us who are avid gun enthusiasts here on the council to attend. I understand the congressional delegation is supposed to be in attendance out there as well. So that is at the end of Decatur Boulevard, north all the way to the end. You can't miss it. You'll run right up to the mountain and see it. So thank you for reminding me, Councilman.
Okay.
You're welcome. I reminded you because I had to remind myself that I was going to be out there to celebrate that with you. So, Mayor and Council, thank you so very much. On this coming Saturday, March 20th, the West Side School, located at 330 West Washington, which is currently the house of KCP 88.1 radio station, has received not only the national but the local state registry for historical sites, and so we will be celebrating that plaque ceremony this coming Saturday from 11 to 1. And in addition, the West Side School, we're looking to reprogram it. So if you are a teacher or know of someone who either attended the school, taught at the school, or have any artifacts related to the school, as well as photos, please contact my office or reach me on my website. I will be happy to speak with you all because we're trying to do something very special as it relates to the reprogramming of the West Side School. And it is this Saturday, March 20th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we invite the entire community to come out to talk about what you would like to see the reprogramming of this school be in the future going forward. And so this is a historical site that we're very proud of, and we just really want the entire community to come out and celebrate it and talk about what we would like to see happen with the reprogramming going into the future. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Councilman Ross.
I'm Councilman Ross.
What did I say?
Wolfson.
No, I didn't.
But I'm honored anyway.
Did I say Wilson? I said Ross.
No, then I misunderstood, Your Honor.
No, it's your hearing. It's not my speech. My speaking.
I just want to announce that the City of Las Vegas, in conjunction with the Clark County School District, is hosting the World in Your Backyard Multicultural Festival at the Centennial Hills Amphitheater this Saturday on the 20th. So if you don't want to go hang out with Councilman Barlow, you can come over to Centennial Hills Park. It is free. Starts at noon. And free is always good. There's going to be every nationality that's going to be out there, foods and festivals and goodies for the kids. It's supposed to be a beautiful day, so folks come on out and enjoy the park. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All right, the meeting is in recess. We're going to go into closed session once again. Yes. And then we will adjourn thereafter.